Hi, Pia.
Hi, Emily.
I want to see, you're not in the Google Doc yet. Don't look at the
Oh, I,
Google
I
Doc yet.
am. Oh, I'm not. Okay.
Don't look,
I
close your eyes.
mm.
Okay. Do you remember the brilliant idea you had for the reunion?
Oh,
I wrote it.
was it
uh,
the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yes,
Oh, okay,
yes.
yeah.
Pia had this. So Pia and I have been voice noting back and forth because we were just furious about the reunion situation, and we were just coming up with first we were gonna like storm the reunion. We were gonna show up with badges
Yeah.
and say and say we like to get in. We have these badges, and then I was like, we could also just take a ladder because there's proof that if you just walk anywhere with a ladder, you can just get in.
hmm
Because we just were worried that they were going to forget things. And so Pia came up with the brilliant idea that it would be like, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, like phone a friend. And we would call it Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, phone a fan. And they could
Yes.
all phone a fan. And there would be a fan on standby for each of them. And we would be there ready and be like, hey, what was that moment where they said, or like, what was that thing I was supposed to say when Erika said this? And because we are the ones who remember everything. They're in it, so I get it. They don't remember everything, but we remember everything.
Yeah, because we're not so emotionally attached, so we can use like logic and reasoning, so we can get maybe their points out more clearly as
Yeah.
fans. And we pick everything apart. We're meticulous. We're
Yeah.
Bravo fans are like no other. We are on it.
Yeah.
So that would be really fun if they could phone a friend, phone a fan.
We're really concerned. Well, actually, I think I've gotten past concern at this point. I think I'm like dead inside.
Yeah. I don't know how I feel. I feel like I went from a place of like deep despair with the seating arrangement because I was just like baffled how Rinna and Kyle could possibly get to sit next to Andy when, like, even with whatever, I know we haven't seen all of what's about to happen with Aspen, but like, it just, to me, whatever happened in Aspen still isn't enough, couldn't possibly be enough to equate to like how they really weren't part of the narrative for it's going to be 22 episodes. They have like 3 good episodes towards the end. Like, who cares? Like, Sutton and Garcelle have been in the mix, and Erika in the mix, and even Diana, I guess, in the mix more so than Kyle and Rinna for this whole season, for them to be sitting next to Andy. But that made me feel like Andy might not go there. But then we keep hearing rumblings of this and that, speculation. I don't know. I don't know if they're trying to make us feel like the reunion is going to be good, because we all were like, what is this fucking seating chart? Like, but remember last year they were like, oh, it's gonna be a 4-part reunion, and it was one episode was just dedicated to promo of like Kyle's Halloween movie. Like,
They overhyped last reunion so bad. Oh, so it was like it was the most overhyped thing. Like, Andy was going off about how it was the most dramatic reunion. We have to do it in 4 parts. There's no other way.
Yeah, it was just like it was a paid programming by the producers
Yeah.
of Halloween to have one full episode, because it was 90% of the first episode was just dedicated to Kyle's movie. And again, we're hearing rumblings that, sorry, spoiler if you don't want to hear, fast forward, I guess, but that freaking Jamie Lee Curtis is popping up. And for all those who were hating on my like fantasy, my Bravo fantasy pick for guest spots with Paris, Jamie Lee doesn't deserve to be there. If Paris can't be there, Jamie Lee Curtis can't be there. Like, that's all I have to say.
Pointless guest spot. That's a waste of my time,
because that's an ad, and that's an ad
Yeah.
for the Kyle and Rinna's and Erika's that were mad about Kathy hawking tequila being shameless. This is a shameless ad that you're doing during our spot.
That's a waste of time. This is the reunion.
This ad has no business at my reunion.
The reunion is time for business and just business. This is not time for fluff.
Yeah.
The reunion is supposed to be an emotional train wreck.
Exactly. Like, now
that's all.
That this is with a time where I'm like, I don't want any products being hawked right now. I would get down to the nitty gritty, baby. Let's get into it, because we got some shit to say.
I don't even like when they cut to like fluff packages to lighten the mood.
Yeah, we don't need to lighten no mood.
I hate when they do that.
Let's keep it tense.
Yeah, I hate when Andy's like, let's lighten the mood. This year we saw your kids doing a lot of funny stuff. And then they cut to like Jagger and what I'm like, okay, skip it. No fluff. Just leave that. You guys can do that like internally, but don't show that. I don't need to see that. Don't waste the airtime.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna do the little package where she was cute, where what is her name?
Phoenix.
Phoenix is telling off PK in her little half American, half British accent.
Yeah, that was cute. But they definitely they're gonna put that in there. But again, you can do that. You can do that internally, but like I don't need to see it. Let's just get into it because there were other things that happened online. I just don't feel like talking about it.
Right.
I really am exhausted of like the social media after show that Beverly Hills does because it's exhausting. And I'm a recap show, for fuck's sake. I want to talk about the show. That's what's fun.
Exactly.
They keep doing all the extra shit.
Yeah.
You know, so knock it off.
And I feel like the extra, like to your point, I feel like the extra stuff that's been online after shows and all that stuff is, I guess, why Rinna gets to sit next to Andy. But it's like that shit didn't happen on camera.
That's a great point.
That doesn't
and
count.
You know, another thing about that seating chart is usually when they put like whoever they put next to Andy, like let's think of like Jersey. When they put Teresa next to Andy, they put Marge on his other side because they usually put people who are opposing across from each other.
So that was that was another problem for me. It would have made
sense to put Sutton across from Rinna,
right?
Like next to Andy. So it would have been Rinna, and then if they want Rinna next to Andy, then Sutton should have been next. That would have made so much sense.
First of all, no matter what, Sutton had no business being at the end of the couch.
Oh my God, she was in every single fight.
That was ridiculous. She had no business being at the end of the couch.
And doesn't that kind of prove the point that they all try to make that Sutton has a problem with everyone? Well, there she is at the end of the couch. So what do you got to say now?
Right. Is that Andy saying that he reviewed the footage and felt like y'all were reaching? I don't know. We'll see. I'm just going to try to be really, really low expectation / indifferent. Because they really got me hyped last year and it was majorly disappointing.
Yeah. And Erika said, because, you know, Andy has to ask. I don't know why I find this so interesting that Andy knows they can't say anything.
Right.
But has to ask, like, what are your thoughts on the reunion? Like, it's like a test.
Yeah.
So asked Erika, like, what are your thoughts on the reunion on Watch What Happens Live? And she's like, it was tense, a lot of family stuff, which of course I'm like, I want to know what happened to you. I want to know that you got beat up. But obviously she's not going to be beat up because she knows how to dodge all of it. But she said that there was no cast photo at the end. You know, when they do like the cheers, everyone, let's all cheers to a great season or whatever. So there was none of that. And
I heard there was no dinner. So I do think that something may have happened within the Fox Force 5, because if they didn't go to dinner, somebody got into it within the group.
And I like that. I want there to be war.
I do. I love that, because the thing is, with Erika being a part of the Fox Force 5, she is a bit of a rogue member because she lets her emotions get the best of her. And I do not think, especially like with last year, she gave it to Dorit and Kyle about them laughing at her with Mauricio and PK last year.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that she's probably hearing in the confessionals or on the one-on-ones, she's not going to take kindly to. Like, she just won't. Like, she will not let that go. She's like, maybe they'll make up later after, like in a few days, but like she's gonna be vicious towards them about that. Yep. Whereas Dorit, and this is my issue with Dorit and Crystal, they'll be, you know, say whatever they're gonna say, and then they'll be completely different on the day. Mm-hmm. And that's what I hate about them. I'm like, y'all can't stick to nothing, like ever.
Yeah.
I miss the old Dorit.
I do too. Like when the old clip of her fighting with Rinna on that boat.
Yes, I miss. She used to really have a backbone. Well, she did.
I miss before. It's before LVP turned on her.
Yeah, because she had that one person. She felt superior because she had the fan favorite, if you will, LVP in her corner. Mm-hmm. So I think she didn't feel the need to have to be friends with the ladies or be good friends with them. But then when
the fans also turned on Dorit because Dorit had a rough first season.
She did. She
was an asshole her first season and her second season. Like Dorit was not a fan favorite. She had a hard time integrating. So then I think she then tried to like conform too much and like lost her own identity.
Yeah, but I need some of that to come back. Some of that like bite she had. Like I kind of, as much as I thought
she's a lost cause, I think.
Yeah, I think she is a lost cause at this point because she's just so, she cares too much about her image for her to get back to that raw Dorit we first met.
Totally.
But I do miss her because like, as much as I thought a lot of the stuff she said was like pretentious and I didn't like, again, at least she was being honest about her with you know what I mean? Like if you want to use Kyle's words, so like, I didn't,
at least she was being honest.
Yeah. Like she was being honest. Like that's and that's where they forget, like her coming for Teddy about giving her the wrong glassware, as much as that was pretentious, it wasn't going to kill anybody. You know what I mean? That wasn't going to kill anybody. I love that kind of stupid shit. Like
right?
Like that is, bring that energy back. Like when you guys are like literally arguing over dumb stuff, like who has the most Botox. Like I need stuff like that.
Besides, Teddy overreacted anyway.
Yeah, with the late, like Teddy, like clocking everyone.
Teddy was the one who was being annoying anyway.
Yeah.
Like we shouldn't have been siding with Teddy on any of that, period.
I mean, because we didn't know her yet. She seemed very fragile and she just seemed like she was like down to earth. Her dad's this big, you know, superstar. And she's just like, I'm sorry, we don't care at our house. And it felt, if she tricked me for a moment, like, oh, even though she comes from money, she's not braggadocious. She's not over the top. But no, she's just bland, boring Teddy. And that was the issue.
The glassware thing is where I was like, all right, now you're taking it too far. The late thing pissed me off for sure. Cause I was like,
I mean, it was egregiously late. I think it was like 2 hours, but I think it was,
it was like 45 minutes.
It was 45 minutes.
Yeah,
I feel like the clock thing that they did made me feel it was much longer.
And then, because then Dorit was like, it was 2 minutes. It's like, no, Dorit, it was not. Dorit was the one who like, that was where Teddy totally got me on the late one, because Dorit was just a mess on that. But the glassware thing was when it was like, Teddy, like, relax. Like because she made it seem like Dorit made a big deal out of it. But I remember being like, Dorit actually didn't. She just said to someone else, like, can I get in a different glass? And Teddy took it too personally.
Because you know what? And you're right. Because she got so emotional about it, it kind of made me think that Dorit was more obnoxious about it than she probably actually was, because Teddy is very like when Sutton said, you know what, like when they had played that honesty game, you know what, I thought you were gonna be boring and you're not. And I think she pretty much said you're not. You're like, she just said she assumed she was gonna be boring. She looked like she was gonna be boring, and then she's like,
and pregnant. Ugh.
I know, she did say that. And then fucking Teddy Waterworks, I want to let it go because she's pregnant, but she is just hyper emotional. Like, girl, if you don't, get out of here.
I thought it was amazing.
But I know, but again, I don't mind watching that kind of stuff because that's light. It's light. They got to get back to the light. Get back to the light, guys. And were you the one who ran? Oh, I sent you some like stuff on somebody put a fan put some Kim Richards packages together, cussing out Rinna, or like exposing Rinna and how she is the one who is always in problems with everybody. And it's Kim. We do need Kim back because Kim always called her out. She's like, you are just mean.
It's so funny that watching that again, watching the clip from season 5 reunion when Kim exposes the text messages that Rinna sent her that were like, I can't believe I don't remember them like verbatim, but it was like, it was bad. It was like, it was basically, I'm coming for you.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to kick your ass. Like, yeah. They were ridiculous. Like, they were unhinged, but Rinna was like, I was emotional and I was upset, but Kim had been so Kim was not okay in season 5, and Kim and Brandy were not okay in season 5. And so I need to, you know what, I never watched season 5 because I can't. Season 5, I know it's like Amsterdam and it's like really iconic, but like Kim and Brandy were just so dark that season that like I will watch seasons 1 through 3 over and over again because they're so good.
Yeah.
But then we get to season 4 and I'm like, Carlton, I just can't get into Carlton. Like I just don't need to revisit it.
I think that was my least favorite season.
And Joyce, like I'm like, I don't get what the hell you were doing.
They were I think they were the worst additions that they put on.
Yeah. And then like
no, Teddy is always the worst one, but
yeah. And then season 5 happens and it's like just Kim clearly is not sober, but she's in that like manipulative addict phase of her cycle of addiction where she's gaslighting everyone and saying she's sober, and she's like threatening anyone who dares to question very obvious addict behavior. And it's really hard to watch because this is where I feel for Kyle.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I see like childhood Kyle, where like Kyle was never allowed to question these very obvious things. Hold on. I'll pause because Pia is clearly like moving things around.
Sorry, I was uncomfortable but I'm listening. I needed a pillow for my back, my aging back.
Oh, I hear you. But Kyle like reverted to this like place of where she knows what's happening. She sees Kim's behavior changing, but this is when like her mom, like their mom probably was like, don't ever question it. Don't ever talk about it. So Kyle reverts to this, like, I'm just going to stare and get weird and do stupid things like tell Kim, make sure you eat before you go, eat. And I'm like, Kyle, don't do that. Kyle, don't do that. And then of course, Brandy decided that she's now the better friend to Kim,
right?
And like stepping in the middle of such a long history. And it was all so toxic.
I hated that too.
I hated it. Like I was
when
like,
Brandy was doing
fuck out of there, Brandy.
Yeah, this is that was when I was really done with Brandy and
done.
And that's why I'm done with and also Rinna. Like they really love to insert themselves in Kyle and her sister's drama, and they have such a crazy, complicated relationship, Kyle and her sisters, that it's like I just never feel like it's appropriate for anybody to insert themselves in other people's family issues. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's what's going to come up in the future episodes of this season. Is just Rinna inserting herself in business that she shouldn't be inserting herself in, and I'm so sick of it.
Like, I feel like in season 5, Rinna didn't know exactly what she was stepping into. I genuinely feel like Eileen and Rinna were genuinely just responding to how Kim was acting.
Yeah.
And Eileen was like, maybe I can help with this. And remember, she tried to have that lunch between the two of them.
Yeah.
And then she was like, I quickly regret this because I didn't realize it was this dark. And Kim was like really manipulative at that time and was like using Brandy to like throw it in Kyle's face.
Oh, absolutely. She was using that so much because she knows that Kyle gets jealous, and like she's like, you're my sister and you're like allowing this person to tell you to talk to me like this and to like pretty much body, like I'm not allowed to have access to you. Like when it was it at Eileen's house for the poker night?
Yeah.
And
so I just feel
Randy
like
kind of like,
no, she was
Kyle.
like, don't touch her. Like literally, like, so I actually felt like Rinna was coming from a good place in season 5. But then when Kim like wouldn't do exactly what Rinna wanted, that's when we saw like toxic Rinna come out. But Kim, it was like, I couldn't listen to Kim's very valid argument because I was still so mad at Kim.
Yeah.
But then
she was chaotic.
Yes. But watching it now, knowing what we know now about Rinna, I'm like, fuck, I didn't listen to Kim.
Yeah. And it's hard to listen to somebody who is not well because anything that they say is not legitimate anymore. Anything that they say is we just have, that just has a shadow of a doubt on it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I think that Kim has been in this Hollywood life, this business for so long that she could easily spot a Rinna.
Right.
Someone who is trying to pretend to care, to try to pretend to help, but it's only exploiting her. And I think she's been exploited her whole life. And she saw it and she knew it was happening and she was not standing for it. But she was in such a bad state that none of us could take her seriously. It's like, yeah, it's like she is the boy who cried wolf. And unfortunately, she didn't have a leg to stand on.
Totally.
Now that we have all of this information and that she and Rinna has been doing this like a fucking psychotic psychopath serial killer, just trying to like knock housewives off, you know, we realized that Kim had some validity in what she was saying.
And I'm like, yeah, Kim, it's time for your
redemption season. I think she needs a redemption season. I hope that she can handle it.
Yeah, I feel like she can. She seemed really level-headed when she did that interview. I mean, level-headed for Kim.
Yeah.
That's a different barometer. Like that measures different.
Yeah.
Than, other things. Okay, sorry. I said we'd start the recap, but we went on a tangent. But that was a fun tangent.
It was a fun tangent, and I think that they enjoyed it. Did you guys enjoy it?
Did you guys
talk back?
Yeah. Doesn't it feel like we are talking to them though?
We are.
We
Susie, what do you think? Back to you.
I like the title of this episode, Rocky Mountain Bye.
Rocky Mountain Bye.
Okay, so the next morning debrief, they're going around and like everyone's giving their 2 cents, and Rinna and Kyle do the like, how did we get here? Here's my theory on why Kyle is so upset about Erika leaving. And I feel like you're going to be on the same page here.
I already am.
Yeah. It's that because I think we don't talk about this enough. Kyle is always drunk. Like she drinks her margaritas with no salt. And like, that doesn't not get you buzzed. Kyle likes to drink. And so she probably was drunk and spoke and like kind of didn't mean to speak, and like, and she kind of regrets it. And she is like, fuck, they left my house, which means they were talking about me and they're mad at me. And now I'm in trouble. And now am I going to be out of the group kind of a thing.
Right. And
so it's not like, to be honest, it makes complete sense. Didn't I say last week, like, where's Erika going to stay?
Yeah, you were dead on with that theory.
I definitely wouldn't stay.
I mean, that made sense. Yeah.
So she's upset that Erika left.
Yeah, she's upset that Erika left. It's so funny because the recurring theme with the Fox Force 5 is everyone's so high school when it's them that is so high school. Like they just talked about how Sutton was so high school for unfollowing Erika on Instagram. And then here we are, we get in an argument, we pick sides, we pack up our belongings and don't tell anybody and then ignore everybody for the rest of the day, And I feel like to your point, what you're saying is so true. And it's another high school mentality that Kyle is having. Like she doesn't care what Erika just said about the victims. She cares about how it made her group look. And that is the only reason she spoke up. She only spoke up because I think you're right. She was lubricated. She was drinking. And then regret set in because now she was the Regina George of the group. And she's like, is Erika Lindsay Lohaning her right now? Like, is she about to be out? Yep. And she is fearful. And I think this is what happened during the Denise season when Kyle was getting snippy with everybody. And she felt like they were all turning on her. I feel like, and she started panicking and lashing out at people. I feel like that is what is happening right now. She is in panic mode. She is like, are they about to turn on me? Am I about to be the villain? And Kyle is never really truly been the villain in any of the seasons. She might have had bad moments, but she's never like the core villain. And I don't think she can handle that. I don't think she can handle that heat.
No. Oh no,
she's not equipped. She is not equipped for that. She's equipped to stir the pot and to produce. She is not trying to be the villain. She never wants to be the villain.
No, she likes to stir the pot and still play neutral.
Exactly. And it's even though it's not neutral, but
exactly.
She wants to seem neutral. So she'll do things that are not neutral and then say, but I care about you both. Like throw in like some random phrase that does not match her actions.
Totally. I like Crystal when she's explaining the night before. She goes, Erika elevated to a place that I thought started to become a little erratic. A little erratic. I need you guys to start getting a lot more bold in your language. Please, Jesus. Like, can some of you guys be like, what the fuck was that?
Again, fire everyone because no one is willing to go there. I'm so done.
God, like, what the fuck was that? That is the appropriate language to use. Yeah, a little erratic. Starting to get a little erratic.
If that was Brandy, if that was Yolanda, if that was freaking what's her name, Maloof Hoof, Adrian, Taylor, they would have all said some shit. Camille,
no, not Adrian. Don't give that to Adrian.
She would have said something snarky.
Do you need to go back and rewatch? Adrian was not a good housewife. Everyone is rewriting history.
No. I don't think she was a good housewife, but I feel like she wasn't afraid to get into an argument though. You don't think she would always get into it with LVP? No,
always.
Like that's how the Maloof Hoof thing came about.
That wasn't. She did not get into good. She was a horrible arguer.
I'm not saying she was good at arguing, but I'm saying that it's not that she would win. I'm just saying I need someone that's going to actually not be afraid to say stuff.
Taylor, I give you Taylor.
Fine. I'll fine. I'm going to bend to this one. I will take Adrian out. I'm not saying because I don't think that she was a great housewife. I'm just more so my point is I need these women to stop being political. Please just say, I need the housewives that speak their mind freely. That's why I'm so I say it every week. Yep. I need the alliance to be broken up. Everyone needs to no teams on anyone. I don't want Garcelle and Sutton to be teamed up. And I actually do think that they're pretty good at being able to have their own opinions. Yeah. But again, I don't want any teams. I want everyone to be able to if they see something, they're like bullshit. And not be looking over, am I allowed to say that? I don't want that.
And apparently Rinna did say something in the car. Remember we were saying we wanted to know what she was doing in the car.
Yeah.
And Rinna was like, basically how horrible for these victims that they had to suffer. And you can separate that. And Dorit's like, that's what Kyle was trying to say. And Erika goes, didn't I say that 9 months ago?
Everyone was like, no. And they're did you see it in their face? They're like, you did not say that.
They're like, I don't think you did.
But that's a problem. They do that thing where they know that that's you read it on their face. They all said unanimously on their face. No, you did not say that 9 months, but they won't say it out loud. And I'm tired of that shit.
Yeah. Because they're so aware of the cameras.
Yeah. They're like,
they're like,
I'm like, no,
say it. They can't edit in what you don't say. There was something that Tamara said one time about that. And then so now we go to Erika and she's crying in the bed with Dorit, and Dorit is just listening and she's just so there for her. And Dorit's one of those people who, if someone's crying, she's not even really listening to the context. She's just present for them and just oh my God, yes, whatever you're saying must be bad. But Erika's saying, the things that are being said about me are so gross. Now I'm really trying to put myself let me put myself in the shoes of Erika. Okay, this is
a thief, a harlot.
Okay, she's one day. Okay, let's go back. Okay, let's really go back to the story she's told us. Okay, One day, Erika drops off Tom at work, and she says, "I love you," and he says, "Thanks, hun," and she says, "That's it. I've got to leave this marriage. I've got to get out of here because this man, he just doesn't talk to me anymore. This old man, he doesn't speak to me anymore. Yes, he may clearly be losing his faculties. And I think that has dementia and might be, because he's so old, but no, he's just not loving me anymore. So I'm going to leave. He's not going to have a clue. I'm going to pack up all my stuff and go. So she moves to a shitty, as she called, like a tiny little house,
$2.2 million house.
Teeny tiny little house. And he says, that's it. You're on your own. You're on your own. And coincidentally, he is sued and it's found out that he has actually been defrauding all these people. And these lawsuits allege that Erika has been the beneficiary of all of these fraudulence. They've been funneling money into her account. They're accusing me. I didn't know anything. Why am I on the hook for all of these things? But actually now, really, you guys know, Tom actually didn't know because Tom is actually not well. Well, didn't you divorce him because he's not loving? He isn't loving. But isn't he not well? He isn't well. So
in the affair. Wait,
oh, that's right. That's right. He's an asshole too. He's an asshole, you guys. He's an asshole who's been cheating on me, but he's also a loving sweetheart and I miss him and he would never do this to anybody. So I can't put myself in her fucking shoes because she's not made any fucking sense this whole time. Okay?
Right.
So the things that are being said about her are, quote, so gross, but it's like, we don't actually know what is the facts in your situation, Erika.
Yeah.
Are you a deprived housewife of love and affection? This man's been cheating on you all these years and you had to get out of him. Or was he an old man suffering from dementia and didn't know how to run the numbers and this is all an accident? Or is this all alleged? This is all a big scam. None of this actually happened and they're just all going after poor Girardi Keese and they're really a stand-up business and none of this is true. So none of us know what's actually happening. And she's like, everybody wants me to curl up and apologize. Are they going to apologize and say, oh, guess what? They weren't on the right side of things and we're going to forget? No, I'm going to remember.
It's so stupid. It's so stupid because she's just not listening to anything that anybody is saying. And the thing is, I think that most of the housewives, Kyle, Dorit, Rinna, Diana, they are going to be on the wrong side of history because they've given this fucking evil, as my girl Jennifer Lawrence called Erika during her Vanity Fair interview, this evil woman who really needs a publicist, all of this leeway and grace. And all they're saying is just, when you're speaking about the victims, just be softer. That's all they're asking. And she can't even do that. And she keeps on trying to say, I legally can't. And it's all that's such BS. You could absolutely be in a legal be in a legal loss or a lawsuit or whatever and still show empathy. You could clearly say, I did not do these things. However, I do acknowledge that there are victims, I am not the person victimizing them, but I do have empathy for the situation that they have been put in. And I hope that there's a resolution for them. But she just can't even bring herself to care about anybody but herself. It's a big ass pity party for Erika Girardi because she can't fly private anymore. She can't bring Mikey in the glam squad anymore. I can't feel sorry for that, especially when you're in the last episode naming off the shit you still have, but you can't pay off. How much does she owe now because of in back taxes, $4 million, and she says she can't pay it? It sounds like you can, because it sounds like you have a lot of stuff that you could be selling right now to pay off that shit, but you're deciding to keep it. I can't feel sorry for that.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's how am I supposed to feel sorry for someone who keeps naming the things that she still has in her possession that is literally someone's mortgage? One fucking jacket is someone's average middle American's mortgage. This little shack that you keep saying that you live in, it's a $2.2 million home. 90% of people in America will never live in a home that nice. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you for asking anybody that's watching to feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. So
it pisses me off. Cry. I want you to cry. I want you to be sad, because those people, the people who didn't get their fucking money, though, that money is not for them to go fly around the world and to live a lavish lifestyle that you're missing. It's for them to pay ongoing medical bills that they will have to pay for until the day they die, or for living expenses because their family was killed in a tragic plane crash and their income is now much lower and they need that money to fucking survive. And that's the point, and she doesn't fucking get it.
Well, and then her argument is they're not my victims, so like their pain has nothing to do with her. And I'm trying to follow that logic.
And if she was a good person, she would be able to, what the ladies keep trying to drive into her fucking thick skull, that you can compartmentalize it. Your lifestyle, whether you knew it or not, was funded with their fucking money. You don't feel bad about that?
Like, can you imagine, Pia? Okay, this is where she loses me. Can you imagine one day finding out that the life you've been living for 25 years, the man you were married to, it's like all of that was a lie because he was defrauding people, and all of these treasures that you're covered in and all of these planes and yachts and all of these things were ill-gotten? Wouldn't you feel sick to your stomach?
I would. And I know it's like, yes, it's so easy for us to say that in hypothetical because it's not really happening to us.
Right.
And I acknowledge that. And I know it would be so much different if I was in that position, but knowing myself, I would be, my first question would be, what do we do to rectify this situation? And what way can I help? If someone told me that I had to give it all up, and the thing is, Erika is scrappy too. She could start over. She's dragging this to be right legally. And that's her whole thing. If I'm right, she wants to prove that she's right legally.
Yeah.
And Crystal says it, I think she says it best when she says, doesn't matter who's dismissed from the lawsuits. At the end of the day, they're still victims. And she doesn't see it in that way. It's like very black and white. If I'm found dismissed or not guilty, no crime, no victims. And that's not the case. There still will be victims no matter which way the ball goes. Fucking bitch.
Yeah. All right, on to lighter things.
Sorry, I just had that in me all week. Sorry.
That felt good.
It did feel good.
Yeah.
Yeah, cigarette. I don't even smoke.
I know it does feel that feels like a good light up a cigarette moment.
Yeah, it did.
Right. Kyle, Kathy, and Rinna go walking. Kathy not only has these shoes that are slippery, but she also has like those eye patches, those under eye patches on as well. This is when like Rinna is being really sweet, helping Kathy. And like, I wish that these authentic moments could exist forever with Rinna. But
I know. It's like I see these like old glimpses because I used to be a really big Rinna fan.
I know, me too.
And I'm seeing I noted that too. And I almost didn't want to because I was like, I know she's gonna turn on her. So it was really hard for me to like stay in those little pockets that kept happening sprinkled throughout the episode. But it's like, again, those alliances are too deep.
Yeah. And I really I liked Rinna, and I'm so open for Rinna to drop this whole thing. Fame has flipped a switch on Rinna, and she needs to go away for a while and get her act together. She needs to lose this platform. She needs to lose it. in order to lose this ego and see what the spotlight is, what it's like to have that spotlight go out.
I just like don't think there's any, I don't want to say redemption for Rinna. It's more of like, I think she's too far gone. I don't think that we would ever be able to get her back. And this is why. It's because she's
not true.
I mean, I hope not, but I was trying to think about like Tamra, for example. I feel like she's much different after her break, but I feel like the difference is Tamra was just the star of her situation in her family. Rinna has her 2 daughters who are modeling, canoodling, dating the Sky at one point. Like, I feel like she just walked the New York Fashion Week. I feel like Rinna got herself to a place where she is a socialite legitimately now, that even if this platform went away, she can milk whatever she has gotten so far. And that's why I say I don't think that there's any road back for her, because she loves it too much.
Yeah.
And she's too far in. Whereas Tamra, like, that Housewives is practically all she really had, so she needed to like change. She had to change in order to keep whatever lifestyle she wanted to maintain,
Yeah.
Where I don't think Rinna has to change, even if she loses Housewives.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And I think that maybe when she's gone, we might be done with her.
Yeah.
She may never need to come back.
I don't think, I really think that she's been on the show long enough and she's built enough of a following and clout and whatever, that I think that she would be fine without Housewives.
Okay. Then be gone forever.
Yeah.
Okay. Crystal, Garcelle, Sutton, Kyle, Rinna, they all go to a cafe. They realize, they're like, where's Kathy? And apparently Kathy is like notorious for wandering off. I actually was concerned. I was like, we do need to watch that, because I feel like Kathy is like, she gets older and older, will like be that person, that older lady that wanders off, and like
the Amber Alert that you get,
like call the cops. Yeah.
You're like, elderly person missing.
Yeah. So Kyle is like, okay, Erika packed up and moved out. The flashback of Erika packing up and moving out was so unhinged, because she still had her dress on.
Yeah.
But she had on her like the slippers and like the jacket. It just looked so it looked appropriately chaotic.
I like didn't want it to be a flashback. I wish they did it in like the real time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, where
because you had Diana and Dorit doing it with her too.
Yeah, because I can just imagine like the cursing going on in that house while they were packing up. I kind of wish that we just like let that roll.
Right? Like the things Erika was saying.
Yeah, like she's probably like, fuck that bitch in her dumb small house. I had 5 of these. My house could fit in. 10 of these little homes could fit in my old house that I used to have with Tom.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I feel like she was just saying shit like that.
Evil things. Dorit and Diana go to, I don't know how to pronounce this. Auger.
I think you were right the first time.
Sure. And of course, as Dorit is walking in, she's like, it's so chic.
God, Dorit.
So chic. But this bitch knows this brand, and because she's like, I was in the store in Zermatt, and the salesperson is like, it's nice to meet someone who knows the brand. And she goes, oh yes, very much. And he's like, we only make 20 to 30 pieces of everything. She's like, oh yes, I do know. And she's trying on a jacket, and he's like, oh, she's in heaven.
Yeah.
Erika walks in, and of course she finds something she loves right away. And I was just waiting for her to be like, Diana, buy this for me.
Yeah.
I was waiting. Like I was expecting, she might have, they might have just cut it out.
I'm sure. I feel like Diana definitely bought Erika a lot of stuff that day to make her happy.
Erika has asked Diana to buy things so many times. I should do a compilation of it.
But she always does it as if she's joking. But it's like, she's not. she's like,
Diana, buy a house here. Diana, buy jewelry. I'm like,
it's so cringe to me, because like she's like, Diana, like I want you to go shopping and just like spend a whole bunch of money because I want to live vicariously through you. And it's like, it's one of those manipulation tactics to plant seeds in her head, like, oh, poor girl, like here, like, here you go. Like,
it started with the bracelet. Remember the
yes,
big,
and Kyle's store.
Yep. It started there and it's not stopped.
Yeah, she's definitely planting seeds, and like, and it wouldn't be anything for Diana to like let her have that ski outfit.
No, it wouldn't.
Like, that's why she went like, I love this. And then Dorit's co-signing, like, that has your name all over it. And Diana's probably going to be like, here you go, darling. Like, she probably like told her people to just like send it to her room, have it waiting for her when she's arriving.
Yeah. Diana's makeup is horrible in this scene. Kathy finally comes to the cafe, and now Kyle is like, we're going to Kemo Sabe. Oh my God. Kyle in this fucking store.
I know. I felt bad for her and not really, but like in the sense of like, when when you plan something, this is why I don't like hosting shit. Yeah. When it's your thing, your trip, and you have all these things planned, and then you have a lot of personalities, and people are like not respecting what you plan, and it kind of like irritates you because you really put a lot of effort into it. I did feel for her in that moment, because you're like, I really wanted to like show you these things, but everyone like could care less that they really went to it. But then I was like, this is a dose of your own medicine, because this is what your sister was trying to do the other night. No one wanted to pay her any attention, and that's how it doesn't feel good, does it? It doesn't feel good.
Think about how controlling this trip has been. Like, Kyle has been like, we're going to go to Aspen. We're going to do all my favorite stuff.
Yeah.
They're going to come to my tiny house, and Mauricio's going to barbecue, and I'm not going to help set up, and it's going to be super chaotic. And like, Crystal's going to have to help make the corn.
Yeah.
And no one's going to have utensils or butter for the corn. We're going to undercook the fucking corn. And then we're going to play Ouija board, and Sutton's going to be screamed at, and I'm going to let that happen. And then, and that's going to be a disaster. Like, no one's going to have fun that night. So that's fail number one. The next day, yeah, we'll have some fun. We'll go skiing and whatever, ski mobiling, whatever the fuck.
And skiing is like the number one thing that everybody should want to do. And then the snowmobiling is for the losers who can't ski. Like, that was like, Kyle planned this trip to the minute.
Yep.
And that is why you don't do that on trips. And I've learned this the hard way, because it stresses you out. It stresses your guests out, because you just have to be okay with things not happening.
Yeah.
Because no one will enjoy themselves really if you are like, we gotta get there. Like, no one's gonna be like, everyone's gonna be tense, and everyone is just trying to have a good time, and it like, people don't honestly care if things go to plan.
Yeah.
But that's why. But she is irate at this point.
So now they have to go to Kemo Sabe. It's like, now everything is like, it's okay. So it's like everyone has to enjoy the things that she loves so much.
And it's so funny, because we go to this stupid fucking hat store, and I'm like, oh, it's a stupid fucking hat store with a bar in it.
Yeah, and I knew exactly like what I knew it was going to happen. Like, I felt it. I'm like, this is going to just be one of those things. It's not that exciting, but she's super excited about it. And like, she's going to be disappointed that everyone's not more excited about it. Got it. Can't wait. So, okay. Back in the clothing store though, Dorit reminds Erika about Kemo Sabe, and Erika, I don't want to be around anyone that treated me like they did last night. Girl, what about how you treated them? Never. How dare they say anything to her? How dare they? Can
I just say how juvenile? And I'm going to bring up another point of, again, another example of how juvenile we are when we get to another part of the episode. But right now, how juvenile are you to say that when just the day before Sutton got literally annihilated by both Erika and Diana, and put her big girl panties on, sat in that fucking car with you, and was very nice to you for the remainder of the day.
Yep.
That is what pisses me off with this fucking group. Like, if I was Sutton, I would have been like, I don't want to be around anybody who treated me like that. And she was more than willing to be around Diana and fucking Erika, and didn't make it about her, didn't make the dinner awkward, tried her best to keep everything going positively because it was Kyle's trip. And no one ever points that out or gives her credit for that.
No. And I think I know exactly what point you're talking about that you'll bring it up, because I feel like I clocked it too. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see if it
We'll
matches
see if
up.
it matches. Yeah.
Erika's like, I'll fly a commercial home.
Did you feel like when she said that she was
hoping Diana
was going to charter a plane and say, no, honey, I'll charter a plane and we go together?
Mm-hmm. I was exactly thinking that.
Okay, thank you. Because I felt like, again, she keeps like, it's these seeds she's planting. I'll fly commercial, because I feel like Diana would be like, commercial? Like, hell no, you're not flying commercial, girl.
She's like, I'll
warm up the jet.
Yeah. But then even Diana tries to somehow explain her. I cannot get over how bad Diana's makeup is. Diana has a team. Okay. Diana has a team of people. She tries to explain that there are victims and hopefully you can have some sympathy, but that is like Erika is like, I can't even explain it anymore. Like, I can't even explain like what it is. And she's like, look, for the outside world, that's fine. But inside a friend circle, that's not friends. That's not friends.
Yeah.
But then of course she brings up her victory and the case being dropped in Chicago without prejudice. That means that it can be refiled. Without prejudice means there's no decision made on it because we can absolutely file it again. So it's only being refiled in California, and it has been filed in California. But I cannot get over
that to her. Well,
oh no.
Yeah, because she thought with prejudice meant really good for her.
She's like, see, without prejudice, no one has prejudice.
That was really good for the prosecution, because that means that they can refile and whatever, and that being dismissed in Chicago will not affect the outcome in the refiling in California. You fucking idiot.
But in her confessional, she's explaining it. I need to play. Listen to how drunk she is.
Oh.
The lawsuit in Chicago was the beginning of like all of the bad press, and it's nice to have it squashed. There are a lot of other dragons to slay, but feels good for today. Tomorrow's another day.
If I good for today and tomorrow. She sounds like probably no one knows this reference, but the Lucy episode from I Love Lucy, where she's like vitamin and Vegemine and she keeps like drinking the medicine and she just get progressively drunker.
That's what she sounds that drunk. Every time they use a clip from that confessional, she is hammered. And then she's like, let's see them congratulate me.
Because it's
like,
not,
no, girl.
I am happy that
that Crystal's the only one who understands it. They bring up Kyle's like, did you guys see the case from today? And Sutton says that was the case that she had been contacted about, but thank God Crystal's like, no guys, it's just being refiled. Kyle's like, well, maybe being refiled.
No, it is absolutely being refiled.
Crystal's like, no, it's, oh God, okay guys.
She didn't even, I could see her, she's like, they're so stupid. It doesn't matter what I say here. Like, they'll find out in like another week that it's being refiled. Like, there's so much little oxygen up here on this Aspen mountain. I am not going to waste my breath here. Also, it just kind of reminded me of when the whole Erika thing broke in was it last season? No, whatever season it was, when the whole case about Erika broke. And the only person that read the whole thing from top to bottom was Sutton, and it was like Kyle and like Dorit. Like, we skimmed it. Like, they always skim shit. They don't actually read it. They just read the headlines,
right?
They just the clickbait part, and that's why Kyle didn't realize that it was going to be refiled in California, and that's why she threw in maybe. It's like, no, it is going to be refiled.
Like, both Kyle posted it to her stories when it happened in real time.
Because she's stupid. All she saw was Erika exonerated.
Yep.
And was like, and that was she probably posted it after they had did that hugging, making up thing to really solidify that they were back on the same alliance.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, she's panicking that they're gonna Lindsay Lohan her ass and kick her out of the Mean Girl circle. And she needed to make sure, and that's what they always do. They always do that for each other. They always make sure that they give a token an olive branch to make sure that the rest of the alliance knows that, yes, we did have like a little falling out, but we're all good. We're all on the same page. Don't worry. I got your back.
Mm-hmm.
They always do that. There's always some type of symbolism. God, we should try to string those together.
Kyle, she needs to like let the group, like she's so insecure about the fact that she did speak up. So she's like having to justify it. And she's like, okay, like, I mean, I just had to say something. Cause like when she started to say like, maybe there aren't victims, like I had to say something, And of course the rest of the girls, other than Rinna, the rest of the girls are like, we get it. Like you're preaching to the choir. Like we've been saying things.
Yeah.
I'm really kind of relieved that Garcelle and Sutton were able to take a break this episode.
Yeah.
They were like, thank you. We can relax because we're tired.
I was really, really happy that Sutton and Garcelle just allowed those ladies to hash it out, because I think that they were wanting Sutton and Garcelle to start speaking up more to
totally
maybe get them, but like, see, it's really them though that started this. And they were like, nah, we'll let you guys hash this out. Damage has been done. We don't need to say shit. You guys can talk it out. You guys don't want anybody bodyguarding, policing. Go ahead, talk it out.
Of course, though, back at the store, Erika's like still going off, and she's like, "See, like now this case being dismissed. Just this is why like last night I'm completely innocent." The vibe is basically her saying now that they see I'm completely innocent and there are no victims, like they should feel so bad about last night.
She just like drives me nuts. Like no one was saying, not one of them was saying that they thought she was guilty. None of them, not Garcelle, not Sutton. None of them were even necessarily saying that. They were just saying there are victims, and and there still are. Even if you get exonerated, you idiot, there's still victims.
Yeah.
Stop saying that they're like not going to be victims.
What we're all terrified about, Erika, is that you don't have compassion. And I think that that's the terrifying thing, is that you just don't. And that's scary.
We don't even care necessarily, right? That's like, again, I'm compartmentalizing things. Like your guilt or not guilt is like over here for me. And I just can't even get with the fact that we can't even agree that there are victims. That is blowing my mind.
Yeah, that you're just like, they're not my victims. I don't care. I'm the victim. You care about me. I'm the victim. It's like, wow. All right. Well, now that we can't get past that.
I can't get past it. I really can't.
You're just an asshole.
Yeah. Like,
so we're done here. As the ladies walk by, though, they're like, oh, my God, don't look. Oh, my God. And Kathy tries to open the door and they say, don't unlock it. Don't unlock it.
And I will like to say to you, Emily, apologies. You were so right. When I was unraveling in my voice memos, I was sending some erratic voice
Pia
memos.
was spiraling.
I was spiraling hard the day of the announcement of the seating arrangement for the reunion.
It really sent everyone in a tizzy.
Yeah,
that seating arrangement was bad.
And I was sending her the most erratic voice memos where Emily was like, you have to take a breath. And I said, I will not take a breath. I'm pissed. But I was looking at previews because I needed things. I was like, I need more information. And Emily doesn't really look at the previews because I get it. It's too much. And they also, what my apology is for is that I was really upset. I got more upset thinking about the episode before of them being so mean to Kathy all episode. And then the preview sneakily made it seem as if they were being mean to Kathy again solely. Like making it seem as if when Kathy opened the door, trying to open the door at the shop, that the cafe or wherever they were, the clothing store, that they were just being mean girls to Kathy yet again. And I thought it was a part of the narrative that's supposed to be happening with Kathy that keeps being dragged out. But Emily was like, you have to wait. They like to do that with the teasers. They like cut away right before the rest of the group is like going to be there. And it wasn't like about Kathy. And I'm like, I don't give a shit. I was like, they are fucking rude to Kathy. I was like, this is some bullshit.
Yeah,
But
no,
yeah,
I
you were
stopped
absolutely
watching those
yeah,
teasers.
you were absolutely right. And there was another thing you stopped me about, which was when Kyle, it was earlier that we just passed, when Kyle was recapping with the ladies at the cafe and Rinna walks up. Again, I thought Rinna was sitting there the whole time when she was saying, and I don't even know, like Dorit and Diana must have helped her pack up, but it made it seem like in the clip that they had released that Rinna was sitting there the whole time. I'm like, well, why are we acting like Rinna wasn't with them? Like, why? Like, but then they sneaky. When you see the episode, she was getting coffee when she was talking. Rinna was getting coffee when Kyle was saying all that. So I was like, okay, Emily is right. I need to take a fucking breath. So I wanted to make sure I apologize to you on the pod and not in a voice memo. On the pod, me taking a breath, and I'm not going to be watching the previews moving forward because they get me going.
Yeah, PSA, the previews they release, like when they do the first 6 minutes and then they start releasing other little clips, they intentionally edit them to tell a certain story, a certain narrative to piss us off. And I caught it when it was the clip of when Crystal, remember when Crystal and Dorit get in that fight in, is it La Quinta? Earlier on when Dorit goes, "Are you out of your mind?"
What was the context?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not really explaining it well. It was when Crystal was saying that you guys don't they were mad at Sutton.
And then
she's like, you guys don't validate feelings unless you understand them, that fight.
Yeah. Yes.
They cut the clip right before something that kind of sort of like not resolves it, but it just changed the tone completely. Right. They cut it right before that. So we were up in arms. I was making content. I had opinions. And then literally the very next sentence, it kind of changed the whole tone of the entire thing. So I was like, okay, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That's a little annoying. And then it happened a few more times. So then I realized, oh, all right, I'm going to stop watching these previews and these clips because they just do this to get some buzz on social media, get everybody talking, get everybody pissed off. And it sort of takes the sting out of it once the episode airs.
Yeah. And also the previews, they release too many previews. They usually release 2 to 3. And sometimes they're short. And then as the week gets closer, it gets a little longer. I feel like I'll see like even more of the same one.
Yeah.
And so then by the time I watch the full episode, I start almost feeling slightly bored at the parts that I've already seen because I've now seen them probably multiple times because of just being online and like algorithms knowing like on TikTok and Instagram what I'm looking at. So I'll see the same clips or longer clips. And I almost want to fast forward, but I don't want to do that because then I'm scared that maybe they did edit it in a funny way. So I might miss something. So then I just sit there and I'm like, I should have not watched the preview because it's kind of taking some of the fun out of it. So I am going to stop watching the previews. It's hard because sometimes the week feels long and I really start itching for more stuff, but I just got to wait.
Yeah. It was much better having not watched anything going. Yeah. I was like, thank you. There we go.
And it was really frustrating you not watching it and me watching it because then all I wanted to do. Yeah. Like, cause all I want to do is voice memo you. And it's like, you're like, I don't want to talk about it because I didn't watch it. And I'm like, I need to talk to you about it.
And then you see it and you're like, oh, they did totally just fuck with us.
Yeah. It was completely taken out of context. Both things that you're so right. You're hard right about that.
Yeah. I know how they fuck with us. I'm like, you won't get me anymore. Yeah. Bravo.
Done with your previews and I'm really done with your after shows because they're very triggering for me.
The after shows are bullshit.
Yeah, it's just like to me, the after shows, I don't even think that the after shows are worth watching because it's just everyone changing their stance based on whatever alliance and conversation that they've had with the other person. So I'm not even like, it's not worth watching.
It's useless. It's useless. It's just going to piss you off more, honestly.
Yeah.
All right. Kemo Sabe, Kyla's so fucking pumped. Cherie is finally there.
Did you feel like it felt weird that she wasn't there? I almost feel like producers were like, oh, you have to to stay back. Like, we just want to get the core group. Like, I don't know. Cause I'm like, what were you doing? Like,
I feel like schedule, maybe like she hadn't shown, like she couldn't get there before. Maybe
like,
I don't know.
what does she do?
I have no idea.
I don't feel like that's
scam people.
Yeah. I'm like, were you out there scamming? Like, like, I almost feel like productions was like, I don't know if we like need her. Like,
Yeah, they're like, oh
later.
yeah, her.
Like, I feel like she was like scheduled for later. They're like, we don't want you.
You come 2 days later.
Yeah, I don't know.
You come for 1 day.
Yeah, it felt like they held her back in like holding.
They gave her the wrong dates.
Yeah, they're like, you can't come for the filming until 2 p.m.
Kyle like immediately tries on boots, and I like that Crystal's like, God, you really are a shopper, because Kyle is a compulsive shopper. She really is. Like, every time they go anywhere, she has to buy something, and it's like,
yeah,
it is annoying.
Do you remember that years ago when they was it Mexico, and I didn't even know you could do this. She postmated a Rolex to dinner.
Yeah,
I didn't even know you could do that.
Yeah, it's obsessive. So, okay, here comes the tequila moment. Kathy points out that they have her tequila, and Rinna's like, oh, Kathy probably put it there. And she's like, good for her. But then Rinna goes out of her way to try that 818 tequila. And Garcelle's like, what you got there, Rinna? And she goes, oh, just trying Kendall Jenner's tequila. And Kathy goes, oh, thank you. And Rinna goes, just trying it. You know, I love yours. And Garcelle in her confessional, she goes, are we under contract to drink this? Because I did not sign on the dotted line. That is interesting that she says that. But yeah. Rinna goes, the way Rinna fucking, let me play it because it's just so fucking rude. The way Rinna says this was just,
I have now 3 friends that have tequilas, and I just wanted to taste the one I hadn't tasted yet.
Bitch, you know you've tasted that.
But also, shut the fuck up, okay? That is the most passive aggressive. Like, lean into it. I would respect her so much more if she was like, I'm being shady.
Yeah, I think that's like, we're not stupid. Like, first of all, you don't think that she was on the PR package list for 818 when it first came out and she didn't get that to her house? Yeah, you've definitely tried it before. And she kept on saying, my friend Kendall, like, you're not friends with a 20.
Kathy is practically Kendall's aunt. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and it's like, and you cannot,
Rinna, you cannot claim Kendall Jenner as your friend over Kathy Hilton.
Yeah, and it's like, it also felt like she was putting Kathy in a weird spot where she is really good with the Kardashian family, like good friends. It's like Kathy is clearly trying to promote her tequila. And then you saying the Kendall 818, like, you're making her, she can't say anything negative about it because that's her, family friend. But you're like, it's like, you're like, they keep purposely putting Kathy in these like weird positions. And it's like, I'm sorry, I'm like on Kathy's side here. Like, she's going to combust at some point. You guys have been poking. She's been letting it go. And this was the last fucking straw for her. And I'm on her side with this. I'm so sorry. I'm just so on her side with this.
So Garcelle being confused about it too leads me, none of them being supportive of it leads me to think that maybe they're all a little weirded out by it. Like, even Garcelle is kind of like, wait, what's happening? Like, we didn't know we were supposed to be promoting this, but they're not going out of their way to then try another tequila. That's the difference, is that they're not going, like, Rinna went out of her way.
Yeah.
So I was on Dumpster Dive Pod, and Tom Hamlet, he is hilarious. If you guys don't listen to that podcast, I highly recommend it. And Tom Hamlet is I'll have him on this pod when I do Salt Lake City at one point, I'm sure. But he said it perfect. He goes, imagine they filmed at a Sephora, and they walked in and there was Rinna lip kit, and they were like, oh, great, cool. Kylie lip kit. I love Kylie lip kit. Rinna would lose her mind.
Absolutely.
Did I already say this on this podcast?
You said it to me, and I don't know if you said it to me on this podcast.
Okay. I think I've said it to like every other person I know.
It could have been whatever. Even if it's being reset, it still fucking holds true.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, and honestly, whatever Rinna was trying to do here, And it's so funny. The Fox Force 5, they always think that they're like gonna like fuck somebody over, and then the fans have an opposite reaction. So
Yes.
all of this in the moment they won with doing whatever they did to Kathy and her tequila stuff, like making her feel small, being rude to her about her tequila. It all backfired though later when we all watched it, because all it did was have the fans be more interested in Kathy's tequila. I have just the amount of videos I've seen of fans having the most opposite reaction, because that's what happens. Like you guys were so mean about it that everyone was like, why are you guys being like, because I feel like, you know, for like you and me and like some probably other listeners who listen to the pod or creators, we're like more about, we kind of like know the production side of things. So like to your point, like usually you have an event if you're trying to, you know, promote a product, but to the average viewer, they might not necessarily think that there's anything wrong, because all they really know is that people promote their stuff. So they might not like catch on to, usually it's an event, or, you know, when, you know, these things are brought up. So they're just like I just keep seeing a lot of comments being like, everybody does that. So what's the big deal here?
Kyle wears an agency hat. They talk about the agency every 2 seconds. So
Vanderpump, I was thinking about this. Vanderpump in both, when she was on both shows, that Vanderpump Rosé was out all the time. You know what I mean? So again, like, honestly, I get it. Like if the ladies are annoyed by it, it's not that I'm not saying that they don't have a right to be annoyed, because like, again, I'm not there. So it might feel more annoying, but I don't think that Kathy's really doing much different things than I've seen other housewives do. But it's the fact that I think it's Kathy Hilton that's rubbing them the wrong way. And it's to your point again, that she comes in halfway or whatever, and she just wants to hawk her product, and they're jealous of that because she can do that. And it's frustrating for them. I don't give a shit as a viewer, because I'm enjoying Kathy. If she wants to show me some fucking tequila, I'm okay with it. Now I'm curious about how it tastes. Like I would have never even probably thought twice about her tequila if they didn't make it such a fucking big deal. So yeah, Rinna, you just gave her some free promotion, because I feel like a lot more people went to go check out Kathy's tequila because you guys were so unnecessarily mean about it. Like it was, Garcelle was annoyed, but you wouldn't have even known if Rinna hadn't kept bringing it up so much.
And for the record, I guess this is actually Eva Longoria's tequila.
Is it? Oh,
yeah. And Kathy said that Nikki invested in this tequila. So that's why she's trying to get the sales up. But also someone on Twitter, I think, said this. So I'm stealing their point, but Kyle likes to talk about how she's Paris and Nikki's aunt all the time, but wouldn't she want to talk about a tequila that they've invested in and help get the sales up for for a company they're invested in?
I did not see that point yet, and I was actually gonna bring that up, because I was like, I understand why Kathy, because I was gonna say I understand why Kathy is lashing out at Kyle, because it's like, you bring up your Paris's aunt all the time and you have such pride about it, and this is your family's business stuff. Like, why aren't you supporting your niece in her business venture? You literally just mocked your niece's tequila last episode. That is weird. That's weird to me. Yeah, the other ladies, sure, they can do whatever they want, but that's your niece. It's not even your sister. Sister's bigger. That's your niece. That's not like that's invested in it. Like
why can't Kyle once say, Kathy, I love this tequila?
That's it. And it would be over. Like in that whole bar thing, that's Kyle's. And I'm sorry. I completely understand why Kathy is upset with Kyle. This is Kyle's event, right? So she has control. So her tequila being there, it should have been free promotion for her tequila. It should have been like everything. Kyle as her sister should have been saying, everybody's drinking margaritas. I want you guys to be visibly pouring my sister's tequila. And they were doing like the shot ski stuff.
Yeah.
All this was really.
And they were by that point pouring the Casa del Sol. That's what it's called, right? Casa del Sol.
I think something like that. I don't really know.
someone did send, I shouldn't say this. Well, whatever. Someone did send me a review of the tequila and say that they got a very bad hangover off of it.
Okay.
But then again, I don't drink anymore, but I always got hangovers off everything. So you don't ever get a hangover though, do you?
No, that's why I was like, I can try it out.
You should.
Maybe I will.
You should fucking try it. But yeah, so I get I'm wondering why Kyle isn't trying harder.
I just think that would have been actually the perfect time to promote Kathy's tequila, especially if we're at this weird fucking hat store that nobody asked to go to. Like,
and would, I mean, Rinna going out of her way to say like, I want the 818 tequila, and it's, Kyle, should she have said something to Rinna at that point?
I think she should have. It was her event. Like I would have not been as mad.
Even just gone like Rinna.
Yeah, I wouldn't have, because she said it a few times. So it was really getting like, she wanted to make sure it got picked up at some point.
818 Kendall Jenner.
Yeah, she said it a few times to make sure.
Have you ever had 818? My sister said it's terrible.
We carry it at work. And we're actually today supposed to have a tasting of it. Now that you mention it, but I don't think I'm going to go in it too early to do it.
My sister said, she's like, it's literally the worst tequila. And someone else said that too. Someone else said it's the worst tequila.
Isn't that the tequila that famously for Kylie's birthday a few months ago? Because, Kim, I don't know if you know, but Kim Kardashian is not a big drinker. So occasionally she will. And on this trip that Kylie chartered for her and her closest 25 friends, they were taking shots, and there was an 818 bottle clearly in the background, and Kim was like, actually, I'll take a shot. And she took the shot, and it's a meme now. And she spits it out, and she's like, it was disgusting. And everyone was like, I think that was the 818. But then they were like, put a statement out like, that was not 818. Like, it was on the table though. Like, someone took a screenshot. It was on the table. Like, it was the 818. And to be fair, Kim is not a drinker, so like her taking a shot, she probably would have done that with anything, but maybe, I don't know.
Yeah. My sister said it's disgusting, and someone else said it was disgusting. I can't remember.
Maybe I'll try. I'll take a taste of it today.
Yeah,
because we're supposed to have an 818 training today, because we have the bottle, and we've had it for a while, but it's not in our computer. Like, for people, like if someone ordered, I've never had anybody ask me for 818, but now I think that they must have bought more like spots or whatever for the bar, because now we have it. We changed one of our cocktails to incorporate 818 in it, so it's on the menu. So I think now people visibly know that we have it, even though it was the bottle. Is
so now
bar.
they've bought.
I don't even think that there is a button in the computer for 818.
Well, they'll add it.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying,
someone's job today.
I feel like that's why we're getting training on it today, because I think they're really going to be pushing it.
Yeah, they've spent some money.
Yeah,
they've pushed some money into that bar. That's what's happened. So Kathy asks the bartender, like, can you please pour my tequila? And she's like, I don't like to have to do that myself, but I guess if no one else will.
I know. I felt for her, because I think she just had it at that point. It was like one of those things.
She's also like, she's like, fucking Kyle, like, this is your, like you're saying, this is your event. Tell your bartender to pour your niece's tequila.
Yeah, I don't know. They're trying to make it seem like Kathy is being high maintenance. I don't really think that was, if that was my sister, I would expect her to do it. I don't know. Like, it'd be different.
I would too.
If it would be different if it was any of the other ladies' event, then I would say Kathy's being a little bit like, they don't have to, like Garcelle, like, am I under contract? That would make more sense to me, and I would be more on like the side of everybody else. But this is your sister's stuff. This is your niece's stuff. Support that, please. Like, this is your family.
So okay, I'm trying to think of how this went down. Okay, so they get to this event, and Kathy goes up to Kyle and says, Kyle, they have my tequila here. Now, how did it get there without Kyle knowing? They had to have that arranged. Production had to have had that.
It was absolutely
figured out.
Oh, that was absolutely arranged. And I
so
think
she's letting Kyle know, like,
I think that she was tired of waiting for Kyle to bring it up. And once again, she was like, and I think that's like when we hear the break later, when she starts to really unravel because Rinna's really getting to her. And Kyle's inactiveness is really getting to her. She's like, I hate to have to do this myself, which to me indicates that Kyle was supposed to do it. So it's not her introducing it, as other people enjoying it like, you know what I mean? Because her keep on doing it makes it seem like,
yeah, she's like, Kyle, help me out.
Yeah, like, oh my, like she just, it's just like, let's support it.
Here's what should have happened. She goes up to Kyle and says, Kyle, they have my tequila. And Kyle goes, oh my God, great. Let me go tell him to pour it.
Exactly. That is exactly what should have been happening. And you know what? To me, it speaks volumes that Kyle isn't doing that, because like, you are not, if you had something, Emily, and I was having an event and you're like, oh, this is my thing, I'd be like, everyone come check this out. I would be hyping you up. And the fact that they're not hyping her up makes me feel like there's secret resentment. There's jealousy, there's pettiness, because when someone doesn't want to celebrate you, there's an underlying issue that they have with you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, totally. 100%. And so she's like complaining. I love her impression of Rinna. Like, yeah, my friend.
I know. I was dying.
Kendrick just put that on a loop for like a minute straight on his Instagram. He's like, here's just a 1 minute loop of Kathy constantly just doing it. Like, if you wanted to go check it out on his Instagram page, it is lovely just to like hear it over and over again, because she does it's a very accurate impression.
I think it's hilarious, and I think was well deserved.
It was so deserved. And then, but I love the way she goes, and Kyle doesn't do a fucking thing. Like, she felt that so deeply. She was like, and Kyle doesn't do a fucking thing.
I really think that Kyle and Rinna thought that we would think that Kathy was being absurd and ridiculous.
That's what Kyle's saying, like in her confessional too. The way she's like, Kathy can be a lot of fun, but when she gets upset, there's no turning her around. I'm like, I think you think we're going to be like, yeah, we see that. But I'm really going, why aren't you like, Kyle wanted so bad for the day to go one way, and anything that veered off of that plan, she wasn't having it. So all she had to do was be supportive of her sister and be like, oh, Kathy, pour this tequila for my sister. That's it. Just fucking say the tequila one time. That's it. That's all she had to do.
It was Kyle's day. She didn't want to share.
And then exactly. And then when Kathy starts getting mad, it's like, oh, Erika's already not here. Dorit's already not here. And now you're going to get mad at me.
And that's where it was, because she wanted to say that Sutton was being fucking dramatic.
Oh, we were on the exact same page. That's exactly what I was saying too.
And I was like, are you fucking kidding me right now? You're literally throwing a tantrum right now. And Sutton was being told she was the worst person to walk the earth. And sat there and took it and started silently crying to herself.
Wait, let's wait till we get there. Wait till we get there, because when she says that line, I said, we are on the exact same page, Pia. I knew we would be.
Do you know how many times watching this fucking show I was like, sorry, you can't even see my face, listeners, but I'm just like cocking my head to the side, like in gas, like jaw open. Like,
she did.
Is this actually happening?
No, like
the blatant hypocrisy. Like, I was like, these ladies are the most delusional ladies I've ever seen on television.
So Kyle is now crying. And I remember, like, I out loud because Kathy leaves, they go to commercial. When they come back, I feel like I thought I missed something, because they come back and Kyle's crying and like getting her drink from the bar, and the salesperson comes and puts like a hat on her or something, and she's like, thanks, do you have anything with like gold or silver or turquoise? Ooh. And I'm like, wait, what did I miss? Why is she crying? I truly did not understand why she was crying. But then she's like, I just wish I didn't let it get to me so much, but it's different with sisters. I'm like, oh, she's crying because of Kathy. why are you crying? And Mauricio comes in and he's like, oh, it looks like it came at the perfect time. I'm not, I'm still confused. I'm like, you could have fixed it with Kathy. This was so fixable, so fixable.
I felt zero sympathy for Kyle because
Kathy
gave her a lot of ways to turn her fucking turn Kathy's attitude around. She said it so many times. I wish Kyle would say something. I wish Kyle would do something. And all Kyle had to do is say, Rinna, shut the fuck up and everybody drink Kathy's tequila. We're going to do the fucking shot skis.
Bottoms up.
And it would have been fine. But she refused. That is the telling thing. She refused to promote Kathy's tequila. I don't know why she's refusing to do it.
Yeah, refusing.
Does she have stock in 818?
Or another tequila?
Yeah, like what is your problem with like supporting Kathy with this fucking tequila? It's really weird to me.
And you hear the bartender go, I don't know why she's mad at me. We were pouring her tequila. She's like, yeah, I know. I can't get her to snap out of it. But then,
it's now not about that, bitch.
I'm now clocking this. So Kyle does it. So Kyle's had at least one margarita. She's now drinking another margarita. Then she does a shot with Mauricio. And then she does a shot with Rinna. Kyle is drunk. Okay.
And the altitude.
Let's be aware of this because the meltdown she has later is alcohol related.
Oh,
okay?
Absolutely.
100%. So, okay, now we're with Erika and Diana. And what does she do right away? They see some jewelry store and she goes, Diana, buy jewelry. I want to live vicariously through you. Like, again, how many times? And so Diana goes, oh, I like to look for collector's pieces, like it's an investment. And Erika's wearing the fucking earrings. And she goes, yeah, these were $790 and now they're $130. So there you go. When Dorit says in her confessional, it takes a special kind of person to wear the earrings that are such a topic of conversation, but
Yeah, I mean, that was obviously a choice. That's our problem. She just like doubled down. It's like I'm so sick of talking about her.
I am too. They go into this place called Aspen Pie. Oh God, when Erika ordered the drink. Did you clock what she forgot? When Erika ordered the drink, I did not clock the short glass, but when she didn't say carcass out, I was like, carcass out?
What does that mean by carcass out? Like she doesn't want the fruit in the garnish in the.
Yeah. Well, to me, I just assume when she says that she doesn't want it like the whole lemon in the drink, but I'm assuming on the side would be okay.
Right. That's what I felt like she was meaning. But then I was like, did you want me to pull the meat off?
Yeah.
I was like, you want a twist? Is that what that means?
So I'm assuming it just means she doesn't want them to like squeeze it and then put the whole thing inside. So when it came on the side, I was fine. But then she was like, short glass. There's 4 things: Belvedere, club soda, short glass, 3 lemons, carcass out. Got it. Thank you.
We'll never forget that now.
I will never forget it. So now, like when Dorit comes into your place of business, you can just get her cocktail.
I served her once.
She was nice, probably, right?
She was actually.
Yeah, I would imagine. They fucking thank Diana for taking them in because they're Aspen refugees now. And Diana goes, I tried to help people in distress and they needed a safe house, so I gave them one. Diana, take it down.
Did you feel like when Diana said safe house, I feel like that's gonna rub in watching this episode, if Kyle watches this episode, that phrasing safe house is gonna really piss Kyle off. And I'm wondering if they brought that up in the reunion at all.
That's a good point.
Know. Because I feel like Kyle was very agitated that they left her house, and that was what really pissed her off, was the fact that they left. Like she kept saying that, you left my home, you packed up my home and you left. And to refer to Diana's place as a safe house is like saying that Kyle's house is toxic. So I'm interested if this is going to get brought up on the reunion and if this is going to be a point of tension at all.
We'll see. We shall see. Okay, so now they're like lighting the hat on fire. And so, okay, with Housewives, like we want there to be fun, but like there's so much strife and darkness in this group that it's hard to like switch gears.
Yeah.
It's hard to like switch gears and to be like, oh, now they're having, this is the fun portion of the trip where now they're like lighting a hat on fire and now it's supposed to be a good time. And fucking Kyle, she's like, we're burning some Benjis. I need, don't ever say that again. Kyle.
Right.
Don't ever do that. But anyway, Dorit now FaceTimes Kyle because she needs to like, she's like, I haven't touched base with her at all. But God. So Kyle can like, all this is about how she's freaked out that she's going to be like not in the group.
Yeah.
Right. So she's like, that's not okay. That's not fair that like you're not here. And I've planned this whole thing and that you're not here.
This again is feeling very high school.
Very. And Dorit's like, you're with 5 girls. She's with 2. And Kyle, this is where Kyle says it. I'm getting really sick of having my feelings hurt on this trip.
There it is. And there it is. And that is when I was like, are you fucking kidding me? I
could
not
not
even believe she said that. I was like, you guys have been fucking making fun of Kathy all trip. You've been fucking being disgusting to Sutton. And Kyle, you specifically said, don't be dramatic. Don't be dramatic. Let people speak their truths. I'm glad that they called you a cunt because she was speaking her truth. No, like this is, and then you're upset because Dorit won't come to your hat party.
It's like, you don't even realize what you did because I can't.
Kyle actually does this chronically. And when she was on Watch What Happens Live, when Kendrick was the caller and he asked the question of why she was so mad at what Sutton said about Soulless to Diana and didn't have the same reaction when Diana called Sutton a cunt. And she like used the excuse of being lubricated when she said the thing to Sutton and having empathy for Diana because of the miscarriage thing. I was like, when Sutton was talking to Diana, she also said she had a miscarriage and you didn't give a shit about that.
Yep.
So it's like, that's what I'm talking about. Like those little things. I'm like, same conversation, same context, but different outcome for you, Kyle. She does that chronically. Like when it's specifically when it comes to Sutton, it's literally the same situation. People hurting Sutton's feelings. Then it happens to Kyle, same situation, and it's not dramatics. It's not high school. She's literally she does this. It's like so infuriating. It's like we have like you brought up high school and everything being high school, and you're doing that right now. And you brought up not being dramatic and you're doing that right now. What the fuck universe am I like living in where people don't get this? Like not people, we all get it as viewers.
Yeah.
But it feels frustrating because we're in a gaslit cast who refuses to actually acknowledge what's happening. And I'm feeling fucking gaslit by this cast. That's why I think it's really hard to watch. I feel completely gaslit when I'm watching this. And if it wasn't for the online content and all of you content creators, thank you, Bravo content creators. Thank you, Emily. Thank you, all Bravo content creators. I think I would be living in a bubble of like gaslit frustration.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I like the way Dorit goes in though. She goes, that did not go well, guys. And Erika's like, just go. Your friendship with Kyle is worth more than that. But wait, let me guess. Did anyone say, oh, hey, sorry that all that stuff we were giving you hell over last night got dismissed? No. Okay, they didn't say that because that's not what happened.
Yeah, and I feel like Erika thinks that they're too stupid to know that. Or maybe she's just too stupid to realize that it's going to get refiled. Like I don't know, because she didn't know what like without prejudice meant. So maybe she really does believe it's over.
She really doesn't know. She doesn't. So okay, back at the hat place, Rinna's like, would it help if I went? Rinna's really trying to keep Kyle happy. Like Rinna is really like, she's navigating this. She's like, would it help if I go and like try to talk to them and like broker a peace? And Kyle's full crying because now she is drunk on tequila crying. Like, let's say she's had 2 margaritas and 2 shots at least. I'm gonna say she's had 3 shots. That's drunk. They've only been at even let's just say 2 margaritas and 2 shots. They've been there for what? How long could they have possibly been there? An hour and a half?
Yeah.
That's fucking drunk. Daytime, altitude, she's drunk. Okay.
And I didn't see them eat.
So yeah. Okay. And so she's like, it's selfish of Erika not to come. She should have come and been polite like we all do. And I could not help but notice Garcelle and Sutton both nodding. Like, because Sutton knows better than anyone. Sutton's like, because I have to do that every single time we film. Because welcome to my existence in this group. Right? I am constantly having to do that with you guys.
Garcelle literally just came off of having that blow up with Erika, and she goes on a whole fucking trip with her.
Yeah. So Rinna heads off to find the other girls. I don't know why. I do now though, because Bravo, Ducking Bravo finally like explained why Rinna's outfit was so funny. She looks like Ali G.
I love Ali G.
And so her walking around Aspen just looked like pure comedy. I'm like, why does this look so funny?
And because it's so, that is actually such a good example, because that would be a bit that Ali G would do on his show. Like he'd just be walking around like looking for people randomly on the street
in
like
Aspen,
just going in every store like, hey, it's Ali G.
Yeah. So she's like,
that was a good show, guys. If you haven't seen it, you should really check it out.
So Erika spots like, Rinna, go get Rinna. And so as Rinna comes in and is hugging Erika, Erika whispers in her ear, dismissed without prejudice.
She was so excited to say that.
She thinks these words, she doesn't know what those words mean. So she keeps saying the words as if they're good.
I know. And I feel like Rinna does know. And she's like, doesn't want to, she's just like, I love you, girl. And she's going to be like, I'm going to have to tell you about this off camera.
Yeah.
Like, gotta stop saying the without prejudice part.
Yeah, she's like, drop those last 2 words.
Yeah, like I don't care if you say dismiss, but she's like,
don't say without prejudice needs to. Let's drop that part.
Because if you say it in front of Crystal, she's gonna tell you.
Don't say it in front of Crystal.
She's gonna know. She's gonna know.
Rinna goes, okay, so Kyle is very upset. And Dorit, at me? Like, Dorit is just so confused how she's become the enemy. Rinna's kind of doing her best to play neutral, but it's sort of like, this is sort of like, why don't we really know what we're watching? Like, the dynamic of this scene is so confusing. Rinna, it's like,
let me tell you, when I saw that there was fresh pizza on the table, I knew no one was going anywhere. The thing was just arrived. And I saw Dorit. She looked at it like she hadn't had anything to eat all day. She's like, I'm absolutely eating this pizza that just arrived. Yeah. She was digging in. She wasn't even listening to her. She was like, I'm hungry. And I'm hangry. That's why she was probably lashing out, because I don't think Dorit's drunk. She's like, I'm hangry right now. So
oh no, Dorit is not. When they fight, you can tell Dorit's not drunk at all.
Right. Like, when it's so funny because I'm seeing 2 different like states of mind.
Yes.
Kyle's drunk out of her mind and lashing out. And Dorit is like, when you're hungry. I was like, I do not have time for this. I am starving. I haven't had shit to eat today.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I'm at fault, because I helped my friend put like a fucking purse in a bag and I go to the hotel that I'm already staying at. Like, fuck off.
Right. Dorit's like, I was already staying there.
And I don't want a hat. Like, I don't want a hat. I want this fucking piece of pizza. Like,
yeah. Rinna's like, I think we should all just get together. We can say what we need to say and say whatever you got to say, whatever you need to say. And Erika's like, I want to talk about something that happened to me today, and it's bigger than all this shit. And Rinna's like, okay. What?
Yeah, Rinna's like, this is not happening. But I do love that Rinna told Kyle, no matter what, I'll be right back. Never comes back.
Yeah, goes to the house.
Yeah.
Because then Kyle comes home and Rinna's like, "You're back." I'm like, so you didn't go back to Kemo Sabe.
I caught that immediately because she said she went because Rinna was like, no matter what, Kyle. She looked
I'll
her
be
in her
right
eyes.
back.
I will be back. I really wish that I feel like it was a missed opportunity for the editors to like put something funny, like
a timestamp.
Yeah, like never came back.
Yeah, right. Or like at least put a clock, like they should have put like a clock, like a ticker or something.
Yeah,
like
something.
Time it.
I think there was like a missed opportunity there with editing to make that a little bit more of a funny bit. But
if this was Atlanta or Potomac, those editors are real fun at being shady.
Yeah.
All Rinna has to say, because when Kyle's like, tell me everything that happened, which is fair. I would say the exact same thing.
Right.
Rinna goes, they were having pizza, and that just that Kyle's like, she needs to like take that in. She's like, okay, hold on. She's like, I arranged to shut down all of Kemo Sabe. And they went and had pizza. It's like, okay, Kyle. Like they had to eat. But Kathy comes up. So like we all thought that the whole meltdown was purely based on this tequila. So that like I'm sure everyone else was like watching to see like where Kathy was. So Kathy coming up in her PJs, like being involved in the conversation. You're like, oh, okay, wait. So she's okay.
Yeah.
But Kathy can't.
She's making some digs.
She goes, it doesn't feel good when people aren't there for you. And I know what that's like.
Kyle completely ignores it. Goes like, doesn't acknowledge that.
And I'm like, well, there's your first hint, Kyle. Like it's brewing. But I like that because, Kyle cannot get over the fact that she packed up all of her stuff and left. Like she left. She just packed up everything and left. And so Rinna asks Kathy what she thinks. And to be honest, I expected Erika to leave. So Kathy says this, she's like, whether it's right or wrong, if someone hurts my feelings, I would leave, and then maybe she's embarrassed. And Kyle's like, well, then say that. Say that. Be honest and say that say that you're embarrassed. And then Rinna like stops this and says, you know what? We should be having this conversation with Erika. Well, we're not, because she's not here. Like, shut up, Rinna. Rinna's so fucking careful. And then Kathy does another one. People don't like the truth.
I know. Kathy was really trying to, like, no one was like accepting her shade.
She's telling you something. But then Kyle in her confessional is like, Kathy seems to be okay for now.
I was like, what? I was like, I was like, either they're intentionally blocking out whatever Kathy's saying and ignoring it, or they're just that oblivious, because everything that's about to, what I feel like is about to happen with Kathy is being foreshadowed in this scene.
Like she is saying nothing but shady things, except for when Rinna puts her hat on. She's like, that's adorable. That is adorable.
I think, but the thing is, I think Kathy is trying actively to not to, I think that's why she left. She's like, I am trying to calm myself down. I do not want to like be upset, but she is upset. And she is, dropping little seeds of, I'm still upset. I am choosing to take the high road and move past it so we can have a good rest of the night. But I'm letting you know that I'm not that. There's something festering with me, and just know that I'm festering. Yeah. There's something is festering with me.
Yeah. But like, you guys are just ignoring it.
Yeah. Like I can't tell if it's but I can't tell if it's purposeful, because Kyle's confessional is throwing me off, because I felt like she was intentionally just not acknowledging all the digs, because I was like, they seem clear as day. But then in the confessional, she's like, I don't know, what's like, Kathy seemed fine. Like, I'm like, and I know that they filmed this later, so she knows what happens. But like, is she really talking about how she felt in the moment, or is she rewriting history? I can't tell.
She looks so cozy in her PJs. I'm like, oh, she should have just stayed in those PJs.
No, she shouldn't have went out with them. She should have just took the night.
She should have stayed home. Damn it.
Or maybe not. Maybe because the Fox Wars 5 has a way. They did this with Puppygate. They did this with the Denise Richards thing. They have a way of telling us that we're going to be shocked about something, and then we see it and we're like, oh, it falls flat. And I really think that whatever they're going to say Kathy did, I'm going to be in agreement with whatever Kathy says, unless it's racial, then I'm going to be like, bye, Kathy. But
no, now we know that I think all the racist stuff was just rumor.
I think
it's
so
just
too.
About Kathy. I mean, just about Kyle.
Honestly, I don't care. I don't think that there's a thing that Kathy could have said to Kyle that would make me give a shit.
I know, right? We're at that.
I just because like
we're at that point.
Like first of all, the way that Kathy has been being treated specifically by Kyle and the rest of the girls, or like specifically Erika and Rinna, I could care less if Kathy went the ape shit crazy on Kyle, because one, they're sisters, so that happens, and two, I think Kyle had it coming,
right?
So I honestly don't think I would care. So if they think I'm going to give a shit that Kathy cussed out Kyle, they have another thing coming.
Right. Okay, so I think this is Kyle's in her bedroom crying. I think that's what's happening.
Is she I feel like she's like crying for camera. Like she opened and making sure the cameras were there.
So, because Dorit comes in and knocks on the door, and when Kyle opens it, she's like putting her shirt on. I couldn't tell like maybe she was like changing or something. I couldn't tell. And she's like, I don't want to talk right now. I don't want to talk right now. And Dorit's like trying to make up with her, and Kyle's like, okay, honestly, let me tell. Like, Erika did that to herself. And Dorit's like, I don't want to be in the middle. And she's like, you put yourself in the middle.
God, it was so good. It sounded just like her.
And Dorit, listen to me. She was in tears. And you can tell Dorit is pretty much sober. And Kyle, like, I've been in a tequila meltdown. This is a tequila meltdown.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
Full blown.
No coming back.
No coming back. And she's like, fuck off. I don't care. Like, whoa. Like, I know people are saying they love it, but I'm like, this is not cool. Like, you can't scream at someone like that. Like, Jesus. And the way Dorit just goes, Kyle. Like, she just got screamed at. She's like, you know me. And when someone is hurt, I am there for them. And Kyle is just so upset that you moved her out of the house. Okay. What Kyle hoped would happen is that when she got back home, Erika and her would like talk one-on-one, and like it would be like, okay, now that like cameras aren't here, and like now that like it's just us, we can talk. It's like, we're cool.
Yeah, like we can come up with a strategy to make this better, and she didn't get the opportunity, and now she's like spiraling and thinking of all the things that they were probably talking about.
Yeah, like, you guys are ganging up on me, and you guys are like, they're bad about me.
Oh, they're gonna change the whole narrative now. It's no longer their Sutton's done. Like they don't care about Sutton. It's gonna be all about destroying Kyle now.
Yes, I'm the new target, because that's what they do. That's what we do. We always get together and target people, and I'm the new one.
Yeah, she is terrified that she's the new target.
Yeah. This probably was going on a lot longer than they showed, because when Rinna seemingly comes up like not too far into this conversation, but I feel like it went on longer than it seemed, because Rinna's like, my loves, you guys need to work some stuff out, so we put a pin in it. And then Kyle tries to keep it going, and Rinna keeps going like, we need a pin, and then Kyle like storms off into her room, but then Mauricio steps in.
Yep, because he's like, not on my bromance watch.
He's like, on behalf of myself and PK, I need to broker a peace. I feel like he's had to do this numerous times.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's always Kyle that he has to calm down.
Yeah, he's like, I've been listening.
He's like, I am. Kyle's had a lot of tequila.
Yeah, she is in a tequila days right now, and this isn't real. This isn't a real fight. You guys aren't even fighting about something that happened with each other. So like, he's like, I'm really not going to have this like be a friendship ruiner because of Erika, who I just still do not believe her stories, but I was told I had to pretend to believe it because she got upset. Yeah, me and PK still don't believe that, but yeah, no, this is Erika situation. Let's hug it out. You guys love each other. Not your problem.
Cool.
Cool.
And then she's like, I need 10 minutes. He's like, she needs 20 minutes. Like, she needs to chill the fuck out.
Yeah, she needs to sober up.
She needs a little bump of cocaine.
God.
Allegedly.
Yeah, she needs to straighten out.
She needs to straighten out. She needs a cup of coffee. But I'm sorry, like if you are drinking that much tequila in the middle of the day, I would have the biggest headache ever.
I would need a nap.
I don't even know if a nap would do me. I would need to continue drinking consistently.
Well, that's how I like survived. Like when we were drinking pretty much all day, every day in Tulum, like we would have like a 3-hour siesta. Like you need to like almost like it's almost a new day. Like it's not just a nap. Like you sleep for 3 hours at some point. You're a new person. Like,
yeah, you need to like go to bed and wake up again.
Yeah.
So yeah, she didn't do that though. She just needed to.
She had no time because she put too many things on the schedule.
Yeah. Whew. So okay, they get to Silver City for dinner, and so Rinna's like the temporary host while Kyle gets her shit together. And then Kyle arrives, and so she fills the group in on what Dorit had said. And Garcelle is shocked when Kyle says that Erika was hurt. Garcelle's like, hurt? Like. Garcelle says it in a very nice way. She's like, Erika comes off as so strong. I'm like,
yeah, she did say it nice.
Strong. I wouldn't. Okay. Thank you. Garcelle knows. Okay. Thank you, Garcelle. That was very kind of you. Mm-hmm. So Diana and Erika walk in, right as Dorit is kind of like cluing them in a little bit more. And Dorit immediately pulls Erika over to the bar. She's like, come with me to the bar. Kyle panics and Kyle's like, Garcelle, talk to me. I'm really nervous. But then immediately, like, she's like, never mind, Garcelle, and goes over and talks to Erika. Garcelle was like, okay. And then she was like, never mind, fuck you. And like went over to Erika.
Yeah.
That was so weird. And so here's the talk. And this talk was, okay. I wrote down a lot of the dialogue for the most part, because it was just, I was confused by it per usual. So she goes, I hate that it's awkward between us because I think of you as a really good friend. And Erika goes, I am a good friend. That's why I'm upset. And Erika starts this conversation talking like she has gum in her mouth. Like when you're watching SVU and there's like that opening scene where it's like the hooker or like not. Or like when they go to like interview someone, like ask them if they've seen anything. They're like, no, but maybe over there. Like she's got that kind of, she's like, you see what happened to me today? That's why I fought my ass off last night.
Yeah.
Like she's got that attitude going, like, I'm like, what's this character you've got going on? And Kyle's like, I never said you were guilty. I just wanted you to show empathy. And she goes, to who?
God.
And then she says, it's Girardi Keith's responsibility to clean that shit up. It's a legal problem. Do you understand? When you say that, you lump me into responsibility. And then she says, I'm not responsible for all of this shit.
Thank you you picked up on that too, because that to me that was like an omission of guilt. Did that feel that way to you? Because she said, I'm not guilty of all this shit, like not like not actually any. All like that. Yeah, thank you. Not any of this shit, not all of it. Like so some of it she is, and I think she that was like a Freudian slip.
Yeah.
She kind of outed herself a bit, which is why I think she would, if I was a prosecution, I would want her on the stand.
Yeah.
Because she's like, going to, she's gonna fucking slip.
Yeah. So I feel very bad for those people, and those who have been legitimately wronged need to be taken care of, but that's not going to happen for a while. Now, what does that matter? Am I the most cuddly creature on the planet right now? No. I inherited this problem. They're not my problem.
See, this is what she keeps missing this. Again, no one is talking about if you're guilty or not guilty. And for the sake of her, because she can't see past her own ego, we're saying you're not guilty for argument's sake. She's not guilty. But you saying things like, what did you just say? They're not my problem.
Yeah.
Is saying that they are a burden
Mhm.
and they are like, they are making a mountain out of a molehill. Essentially, they are
Mhm.
like not what she said. They're not victims. That is always going to be wrong, even though we think you're not guilty. Again, I do not feel that way. We're just saying that for argument's sake. Like,
Yeah.
that if you're still wrong for saying those phrases and for speaking about victims that way, even though you're not guilty, allegedly.
Mhm. So then they hug. And Kyle in her confessional is like, hey, do I agree with everything she's saying? No, but I just don't want to fight anymore. Garcelle sees them hugging and she's like, well, fuck, there are 2 sets of rules in this group.
Yeah.
And so while this is happening, Dorit and Crystal are observing. And Crystal's like, wow, they're clearly having a heated conversation. And Dorit goes, I guess she just felt attacked, because it was like victims. And Crystal goes, because guess what? There are. Dorit looks legitimately like shocked that Crystal is like in this place. And so Crystal says, if Erika wants her friends to have compassion for her, then why can't she have compassion for them? Which is such a great point. This is where like Crystal's control over the words she uses really comes in handy.
Absolutely.
So Dorit, the way Dorit's so condescending in this moment, she's like, did you see that article that came out? Did you see? And so I think it's pretty clear that it's not so like cut and dry, And then Crystal says, there's no misunderstanding of her position. Then the way Dorit goes, wait a minute. It's like she's like, wait, are you not? Are you turning? Are you? And then Crystal realizes, she goes, and now I'm realizing that is your position too.
Oh, that one. Did you see Dorit's face when she said that? She was like, ooh, we're going to have to, I feel like that's when she was like, we might have to go for Crystal.
And then Dorit goes, I don't know all the information. Neither do you. Crystal, I live with a moral compass. And I like to know that the people I surround myself with share that. But then they just cut. I'm like, that can't be the end of that conversation. They edited that scene so weird.
Dorit, I saw that look that she gave this very like, she's like, I'm going to be telling the group Fox Force 5 this. We have a spy. We have someone we might need to.
She's turned.
She's no longer.
She's been compromised.
Yeah. Which is what I feel like happened in Crystal's after show thing.
Yeah.
I feel like
they got to her.
That's all I'll say about that.
Kathy starts yelling. She's like, Kyle, do the moonwalk. I think Kathy's drunk at this point. I think Kathy's had some drinks. So I'm just noting that because later. Okay. Rinna and Kyle, they start doing impressions of Erika from the night before. And it's just hilarious. It's just so funny.
It's so too soon.
Right. And Sutton and Crystal are watching and Sutton's like, that was not okay last night. And Crystal's like, oh, she thinks it's totally okay. And then Crystal, thank God, recognizes the double standard. And in her confessional, she's like, if I did that, I would not hear the end of it. And this was really funny because Sutton's like, at some point, we're all going to have to talk about this, but y'all talk about it. I'll spectate. Okay, cowgirl. And they go over to the group and Crystal confronts Erika and
spicy. It's spicy. Ooh.
So here's okay. So it's an interesting the angle she takes is how come I'm the asshole when Garcelle was saying the same thing. And Erika is like, this is the law we're talking about. And I'm being fucking, she immediately goes into the, like, she starts showing her teeth again, like, I'm being fucking sued. Like she starts like showing
She's
her
like a
teeth.
rabid animal whenever she's
She
pissed.
is. And then she says to Crystal, you're making it about you and your ego.
Oh my gosh.
What? That's rich coming from you. And like, well, okay, but again, why is it Garcelle can say the same thing, but I get called an asshole? Because you are.
Oh my, see, is that this feeling like the same thing about the, like how Diana said the cum thing, because you are like, it's like, what are you, it doesn't feel like you're an asshole. It feels like you are literally telling me I am an asshole. Like it's, you know what I mean? That different tonality about it. It's more cutting than just an offhanded, you're an asshole. Like, no, it's like you're saying, you are literally making me feel like I am a legitimate asshole. I don't like it.
Yeah. And then Erika reminds her of how she was there for her in Mexico. Now, I remember us when we were recapping it, it felt like she was unnecessarily there for her in Mexico. It was like, no one asked you, drunk Erika.
But the thing is, this is, and she's getting away with it. Crystal is letting her get away with it because she's like, you were, because Crystal did need her to be on her side at that point, no matter what the actual real intent was behind that. Erika was only on Crystal's side because she was in a really bad place with Sutton. So she was team anybody who was arguing with Sutton. Like, so that wasn't out of like an actual real place. That was out of a tactic to hurt Sutton.
Exactly.
And to get people
it
mad
was
at
so
Sutton.
strategic.
So that doesn't even play for me.
And then they cut. So Rinna gets involved and she said that the only thing they keep in is her saying, if she's your true supporter, why would you choose to go there last night? But they cut out because I remember watching it and being like, wait, they cut out something. I remember there was a bit in the trailer that was like big in this scene, and they cut out Rinna. I'll play it because it was pretty big.
Crystal, you keep your mouth shut.
Remember when she remember that
You can can you do it again? I don't think it played properly.
You keep your mouth shut. Crystal, you keep your mouth shut.
It's playing twice.
Yeah, Crystal, keep your mouth shut.
Yeah. Crystal, you keep your mouth shut. What?
Yeah, I feel like it's a threat.
I need to know. I hope they play it in the never before scene, because like at what point in the conversation did she say that? Because Crystal then explains like this is about the earrings. And when I saw the receipt that it was from Girardi and Keese, and then Erika's like, let me tell you something about that story. It's a year and a half old. And now Crystal's like spiraling because she's like, I just didn't expect this to be such a fucking argument. Because now you feel like you're going crazy because now you start arguing these like semantics when it's like, I'm just making sure you have compassion. That's all I'm trying to make sure you have.
Yeah. No one's I'm not going through. You have like a lot of legal cases. I can't keep up with all of them, Erika.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is at the end of the day, there are victims. We all know that. And you need to have compassion. I don't care about the semantics of each and every one of your many legal cases that are also going to be refiled later. I would actually probably say that just to piss her off.
Yeah, because Erika's like, this is an impropriety of funds. And Crystal's like, there are victims in that. And Erika, I don't owe you an explanation. In fact, today was a good day. Erika Girardi was dismissed. I wish Crystal had said this in
her face. She doesn't have backbone.
Because in the confessional, that's when she says, today was not a win for Erika. We should not be celebrating, especially when there are still victims out there. I wish she had said that in the scene. Ugh.
That's again, fire everybody. If you can only say things in confessionals, I don't need, like, what are we doing here?
And then Erika, when she says this, is so gross. She's like, maybe I shouldn't have been nice to you. Maybe you should have just fought it out on your own and you can just work it out from here. What the fuck are you talking about? That is so manipulative. Like, she didn't need get out of here.
When I watched that part of the scene when Erika said that to Crystal, it felt, especially the dynamics of the way that they were sitting and the way that she was like, the way in which she was talking and pointing toward Crystal and saying that to her. It felt like she was saying, I was your way in to the group. I was vouching for you. I was your sponsor. Maybe I shouldn't have been.
Exactly. I told them you were cool.
Yeah, like no one else. Kyle wasn't interested in having you in the group. Dorit wasn't necessarily interested. Rinna didn't really care. I said, let's take a chance on Crystal.
Ooh.
And again, going back to Crystal's look back at recap, whatever, on YouTube for Housewives, her tone is so much different. She keeps on saying Erika has always been, she's saying the things in this episode that Erika said to her. She has been supportive.
You're right.
And then she's down, and then it's almost like she's reversing it, like Garcelle kind of put everybody in this position, and that she, like, things escalated because I am a good friend of Erika. So in a sense, she's almost martyring herself a bit too. Like, I shouldn't have said anything because I am a good friend of hers, and that's why she spiraled. It feels like she's auditioning, and that's what I like. I was spiraling, so I was like kind of being Kim Richards in these voice memos with Emily, trying to get my point across of why Crystal's behavior on the after show was pissing me off, but like I was like not able to like construct a sentence properly. And I like feel like Emily wasn't understanding what I was saying, but it was like this, like it's like it feels like they got to her. It feels like when you have the perfect witness in a case and you prepped them, you're ready to put them on the stand, and the defense has somehow gotten to them, bribed them, and you get them on the stand. You thought you knew it, as a prosecution, you knew what they're going to say. And they completely change the story on you and make you look like Boo Boo the Fool. That's what I felt like when I saw Crystal on the after show talking about when Erika spiraled. I felt gaslit. I felt like she was downplaying what Erika did and putting blame on herself, putting blame on even herself.
Yeah.
And I didn't love it. I was like, Crystal, your energy in the confessionals, in the actual episode, are not matching right now. And I understand that it's been time, and yes, you could have resolved things and talked it out, but you're completely, and because even Kyle in the after show is still holding strong to her, because she's been in the game long enough to know that you can't go too far off from how you were in the actual episode. She's like, no, I still feel like Erika was like out of line, but we're friends, and that, and she, puts a bow on it at the end. And I don't think Crystal knows how to play. Like, she just completely changed.
Yeah. Kyle cuts them off which felt very insensitive. Like, Crystal's just got screamed at, and Kyle, who has had a whole day of like emotionally dumping on everybody, she's just like, okay, guys, let's go to the Caribou Club. And they're like, okay. And this is the beginning of the end. And so it's like later that night, and they're in the car, and Kathy's like, guys, if I can't get in because of what I'm wearing, don't worry about me. Just go in and have fun. And it turns out like Kris Jenner also like had a hard time getting in, because this is a very strict, fancy club. And it says several hours later, and Rinna is texting Erika that Kathy had a meltdown. And in Rinna's confessional, she's like, the world thinks that she's somebody that she's not. And Kathy's text to her is, silence is golden. And so the account your moms are watching posted some additional text messages about that Rinna sent Kathy. Rinna sent Erika. And one of the texts says, the hatred that just came out of her towards her sister and this show, I'm speechless. I honestly have never, ever experienced anything like this ever, but I'm okay now. I'm locked in my room.
dramatic.
It's like to hear that, like to hear anger towards her sister in this show. I'm like, well, that's not, oh, well.
I don't know, like if that's all that it is, I'm really like, I honestly don't give a shit. I don't care if she cussed out Bravo. I don't care if she cussed out Kyle. I really don't care.
Right.
I was like, you guys were you guys in the same place? You guys were actually at Aspen. Like, you guys were being really fucking rude to her the whole fucking time. Like, and Kyle and Kathy have a really complicated relationship. Like, I'm not surprised.
Seriously.
They didn't go, they went years without speaking. Like,
Years.
They had just fallen out, I think, before Paris's wedding, I think, and got back and then get back on good terms or something like that. Like, they fall out all the time. Like,
yeah.
And I know that they're all very explosive women. Like, we don't get to see it really much with Kathy because we're just now getting to see her on reality shows. So we're used to it more with Kim and Kyle. But like, we saw Kyle first season and Kim talking about, you stole my fucking house. Like, I'm not fucking like surprised that they have these blowouts.
Yeah.
And yeah, whatever.
Family drama is real dark, or it can get real dark. So it's not a surprise to me that like Kathy would get really, really mad about. I mean, this family has so much drama.
I predict that what sparked it was the fact that, again, Kyle has been on this rampage of like showing off her experiences in Aspen and her clout in Aspen. And that's why she wanted them to go to one more club, even though no one really cared about going to the club. But she just needed to show that she was a member of this club and just wanted to show off the club for a quick second. Kathy prefaced she was not wearing the correct clothes, and she knew that. I feel like what happened is they get there, they turn Kathy away. Kathy doesn't care, but Kyle takes it at an opportunity to dig at Kathy. Like, why are you wearing that? Why would you even go out? Like, we're in Aspen. And I feel like Kathy, that the things that she's been like holding onto all day boiled up. And I think she just like goes the fuck off. Like, you know how like, it doesn't even matter what it could have been like a really off, like small comment. I'm very much like this. I like put things down and down and down. And you could say the stupidest thing to me that you wouldn't think would make me upset, but it just was the last straw, and I explode, and it feels like it comes out of nowhere, and I see red, which is why I'm trying to work on not doing that. And I feel like that might have what happened with Kathy here, and she probably started bringing up the tequila again. She probably started bringing up like all this like other stuff that had nothing to do with whatever happened at the club.
Did you see she had posted, like, Rinna on her story? She had posted right after she posted something about Michael Jackson in her stories, like hinting that perhaps these DMs were Michael Jackson related. That was one of the rumors that we had heard about the meltdown.
Oh my gosh, I hope they're not going to talk about his like pedophilia and her, like, because they're really close. So maybe she was defending it, and then it got into an argument.
I don't know
because they are really close. So like, she's probably going to defend because she knows him on a different level. So whatever, the same thing that Erika's asking of, again, this is all real speculation. We have no idea if this is just a red herring that Rinna's throwing out there, but
good point.
I don't know. I'm going to hold, I'm almost like, I would say at this point, I'm like 90% sure that whatever is about to happen with Kathy in this thing that she did, I'm going to be on her side. Like, but I'm leaving 10% room because, like, you know what? If she did something terrible, like, I will hold her accountable.
We're open. I'm wide open to holding her accountable.
But I will tell you this right now. If I don't see footage, if I don't have audio, and if they aren't specific texts and not vague ones, like silence is golden means nothing to me.
Means nothing to me. Because at the end of the day, and Kathy already said this at Rinna's party, she is the type of person that if she says something to somebody, she doesn't repeat it. And that is what she expects in her friendships. So if she did get in a blow up with Kyle that she did not want to be on the show, and that
was that was not captured or, on film and stuff like that. And they know that. And she's asking Rinna to not bring it up because it wasn't even filmed. Like that's what she means. Like, hey, this was a family spat that got really heated. Wasn't even on camera. Like, or maybe it was, I don't know. I actually feel like it wasn't on camera. It
wasn't. That's the problem. It was not.
She's like, I don't want it to talk about. I don't want that to like our drama to me and Kyle's like thing. Like we're gonna leave that. We're gonna resolve that on our own. Please, like that's not gonna be a narrative on the story. And Rinna is a piece of shit. So she's she's gonna run with it.
I don't think that like Kathy doesn't have a temper. Like I don't understand why Rinna's like, people don't know the real Kathy. I'm like, I think she has layers that we don't see. Like I don't.
Right.
I think Rinna's just pissed that she shows her ass so much.
Yeah. She's I think Rinna has this thing about when anybody's on a show, so Erika just had that meltdown that was clearly filmed, and Kathy must have had a meltdown toward Kyle.
Yeah.
And I feel like she's like, it's not fair that that's not going to get brought up when Erika's meltdown got brought up. Like if everybody's going to see bad parts of, like if Erika's bad parts are going to be shown, Kathy Hilton's bad parts are going to be shown.
And that's why in the trailer, remember when Erika's saying something, and at one point Kyle says like, oh, so because you had a hard time last year, you're going to come for Kathy.
And she's like, absolutely.
And she said, yeah.
And that's what it is. It's like, to me, this whole Kathy thing is just a big deflection of what Erika said at Kyle or at the other lady's home, guest house or whatever. And it's just to minimize or damage control what Erika did. They colluded together to do that. And they've been on this campaign to smear Kathy and to put like these like little like false things of what the story could be about. And I'm not here for it. Again, I'm going to say one more time, if I don't see it, if I don't hear it, and if it's just really, really vague text messages, I will not subscribe to the story. They don't have enough credibility. Their credibility is shot to me, so I can't trust it.
Exactly. They don't have enough credibility to be the sole evidence.
Yeah. Sorry.
No,
sorry. I
don't remember if I said it on this podcast or if I was guesting on someone else's, but imagine if Rinna was our only source of, like if Sutton had just told someone at a party about how she had invited Rinna and Harry to Elton John's charity event and they never said thank you. Imagine if Rinna was the one who told us how that went down. Imagine if Rinna was like, so apparently Sutton told everyone at this party that Harry and I went with her to Elton John's charity event and said that we hate the charity event and actually we don't support this charity event ever, and that fuck AIDS charity work, and that we didn't say thank you. Like the version we would have gotten if she was delivering the information would have been so skewed and so inaccurate because that's how she handles things and that's how she processes things.
And not to mention the fact that we've already caught her in a lie.
Yeah.
She admitted where she said that Harry Hamlin never was upset with Garcelle about the fucking sauce.
Yeah. Like I have no doubt Kathy lost her shit. I have no doubt. Kathy doesn't normally function on her own in general. She has people do everything for her. She doesn't even like carry a purse or a phone or anything like that. So she's gone on this trip by herself and she's showing up to like dinners and like doing all these things that are normally not things that she does because she's Kathy Hilton. And then we've watched her be treated pretty shitty and by her own sister. She's drunk. We can tell that or buzz. I don't want to call her drunk, but she's got a little buzz on. She doesn't normally drink. She's not a big drinker. Well, at least we've not seen it. I'm sure she parties though. All the Richard sisters have a party in them. Not Kim, obviously, but that's different. But you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so she's got a little buzz on. It's late. They all have a little buzz on. Who knows what Kyle did? I don't know what Kyle did because I'm not putting anything past her at this point. And sisters can fight like nobody's business.
Yeah, like it could be like the worst things that you can say to each other.
Yeah.
But the thing is,
I have no doubt that it could have been really ugly.
Yeah, like it could have been savage.
But Rinna has been looking for something.
Yeah.
From Kathy. So for Rinna to be like, oh my, wow, Kathy, like I could just see Rinna taking it and running with it. You know?
I had to lock myself in my room. What did you think this 70-year-old woman was going to come at you with the like hatchet? The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah. And screaming, she's screaming at someone to get her out of there. I'm surprised she didn't leave sooner.
To lock yourself in your room as if this woman was going to hurt you. Like, what do you mean?
Shut up.
That was so dramatic. I couldn't even take that part seriously. I was like,
I'm okay. I'm okay now, though. I'm in my room.
This 70-year-old woman.
I'm okay.
You were frightened of.
God.
Shut up, Rinna. You are in way better shape than Kathy Hilton. You could take her if it came to
you
it.
You could take her.
This woman who was just in the previous scene slipping and sliding all over Aspen in her shoes that were sold to her like that.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah. Like, so she's been looking for things. I wouldn't even be surprised if Rinna purposely sent those text messages with the intention of showing them to production and providing them to the show.
She absolutely did do that because she wanted to have timestamps.
Exactly.
He moved quick.
Right. Like, so
she saw an opportunity. Like it was like a light bulb moment when the argument was happening.
Yeah.
She was like,
yep.
I figured out a way to dilute what may have happened to Erika. And she probably called Erika up like, girl, I'm going to start sending you text messages and I need you to start. I have a way to dilute.
Here's what's interesting too. So oh God, that's actually, I'm happy you said that, Pia. Very happy you said that, because in the ones that your moms are watching, the ones that have more, one of the things that Erika responded. So Rinna writes to Erika, I'll never be able to unsee what I just saw. It was the most vicious place I've ever seen anyone go. I'm still shaking. Erika responds, I was blown away. And so Kiki, the Talk of Shame, posted this, and one of the comments was, why does Erika say I was blown away? She wasn't there. So I feel like there was a little slip up.
Yeah. And also, like, let me just tell you something. If there's a big argument happening and I locked myself in my room, which means I'm away from what's happening, I would probably call my friend so that she can hear what's going on.
I would be recording that shit.
Yeah. But yeah. Oh yeah. It would be, I mean, yeah. Something. Yeah. I don't know.
No producers are around.
Yeah.
They're busting. Producers use their camera phones all the time.
Yeah. I just
all the time.
I mean, again, we're not saying that there wasn't a heated argument.
100%.
But I don't think that it was where Rinna was so scared and she needed to like barricade herself in the room because it was so vicious. Like, and even if it was vicious, again, they are sisters, and it's obvious that whatever the fuck Kathy said to Kyle, they were fine within the season. Because it seems like you pointed out when Kyle is talking to Erika. So like, you're bringing this up to my sister too, because everyone brought your shit up. And she said, absolutely. So obviously Kyle's unfair. Whatever's so vicious that Kathy said about Kyle seems to be fine. So why is everybody else caring?
I don't like it.
I don't know. I just
don't think.
And it also leads me to believe that they're full of shit because of, like the rumblings we're hearing from the reunion, how no one hugged each other, no cast photo, no dinner. Because when they feel victorious, they have dinner. Because they even with the whole Denise takedown and they were all ganging up on her, they all had They all met up. Like they always have that celebratory, we pat on the back, we did it. We gaslit them. Andy was on our side this reunion. We got our points across. Makes me feel like it didn't go their way. The receipts that Rinna, I'm hoping, and I'm trying not to get my hopes up, but it feels that way. Like the radio silence of it all is so eerie to me. They are usually not this silent. It's almost been a week, I feel like, since they taped it, or at least several days. And I'm not really hearing much. Like from they all,
to be honest, there were more leaks from that reunion than ever before. And I bet they got a talking to, like, shut the fuck up, you guys.
Yeah. But Rinna, she don't really go with what they,
God, I hope that they're done with her. I hope this
and
is
that's
it.
why I almost feel like her like posting like all her New York Fashion Week stuff. It's just like her being like, fuck you, I don't need Bravo.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I don't know. Again, we'll see in like 5 more episodes, I think.
Kind of. Oh, actually, I did just post it. I think we have the conclusion of Aspen. Oh, damn it. Did I delete it? I've been on a delete binge lately.
Was it only in your story? It wasn't on your grid?
Yeah, no, I don't post a lot on my grid. Here it is. We have one more Aspen, then the finale. Oh no, I'm sorry. We have one more Aspen. Oh God. Which is the Kathy drama.
Right.
Then we have episodes 20 and 21, which is Garcelle's bag party, Erika's hair extension event, and Crystal's birthday, which is where there was the part in the trailer where Crystal goes, "Is it really that bad?" And Lisa goes, "Yes." And then the finale, which is the Lisa, Kyle, Kathy sit down, that's when Lisa's like, "You said the most horrible things about this woman right here." And Kyle's like, "Do you hate me?" And Kathy goes, "Kyle." And the date on the part 3 reunion, like the final reunion, is November 2nd.
Guys, we will have like had a whole fall. Halloween. Do you even know what you like?
We've been doing this for so long. You guys, I've like lost weight during this. Like my clothes are big. Like we've had things like we've been on a journey.
I almost sometimes, like when I think back to the beginning of the season, I almost feel like it was a different season.
It wasn't it?
I feel like I'm a different person.
Yeah, no,
than
things
when
have changed.
We started.
I got, oh my God. Like I got Cloud 10 picked me up in the middle of this.
We started wearing turban things.
We did. Oh my God, we should go back. We should do like a before, like the first pod to the last pod.
Yeah, it was comparison. So long that we had an opportunity to like evolutionize our style.
We totally did. We've like, all right, well, we go.
I started putting makeup on because it was like, should I like look good for this? We're still doing it. Not today. I did not today. But
this is months of shit. God.
I feel like, as much as I like enjoy like a long season, it was like I'm exhausted. I feel like I'm watching the OJ Simpson trial. Like it's been long.
For real. Okay, speaking of long, this is a good one. This is a long one. All right, let's wrap it up. Follow Piaget at PiagetV on TikTok and Instagram. Like, comment, subscribe, rate, review. Follow me at She Speaks Bravo, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.